thing I'm a dick.
And we are live. Welcome to the Rinky Dink BS podcast with your host, with the most, the podcast god, Superfly, Johnny Lee, and my co-host, the one and only, four-time state champion, B Money.
What's up, y'all?
And tonight we have a special guest, one of the most badass wrestlers I've seen. With a badass snap releasing suplex, we got the one and only no good Jacob Ratliff to my left.
Thank you, Superfly.
You're welcome,
Thank
buddy.
you, man. Thanks for having me. I'm going to try to answer all these questions as truthfully as possible. Hopefully I can entertain, too.
That's true.
Hell yeah.
Hey, what's that title that you're on right there, brother?
Okay. I am the super middleweight champion of Paradigm Pro Wrestling. Proud of it.
Great promotion.
So,
'Cause
how'd
we
you,
got to get there.
Who'd you wrestle and how'd you end up with the belt?
At the last show, I wrestled Shawn Mason. Do you know? Are you aware who Shawn Mason is?
Yeah.
A star amateur wrestler, super tough fucking guy. And, yeah, he's who I beat for the title. And, man, it was a pretty hard match. Me and him have wrestled twice, and those are some of the hardest matches I ever had. And we just swing on each other. He picked me up, dropped me on my fucking head, you know, but I ended up getting the victory. In fact, he's going to be in the ladder match September 13th.
Where can they find this match, or not find it, but where's this match going to be?
At Paradigm Pro Wrestling in New Albany. September 13th.
September 13th, New Albany, everybody.
That's gonna be a badass match.
Yeah.
Fucking get your nachos. Fucking watch Jacob Ratliff. Are you defending the belt in the ladder match?
Yeah. Fatal 4-way ladder match.
Fatal 4 ladder match. Watch him defend the belt and beat the shit out of 3 other guys.
Yeah.
How could you not go to that show?
Like Shawn Mason's going to be in it. We have some history. It's 1-on-1, so we need to even it out. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Then you got Noah Vale. Noah Vale is one of the fucking best wrestlers on the independents today. Like, his mind for this business, he's so intelligent and so athletic in the ring. I swear I've never seen him have a bad match. All his matches are like 5-star matches. He's great. And you got A-Game. A lot of people say that A-Game's probably the best wrestler in Paradigm. So, you know, it's not going to be an easy match. It's my first ladder match, but I'm not really intimidated. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to putting on a show for the fans, throwing somebody off of the ladder.
How do you feel going into your first ladder match? Are you preparing for it? Is there?
Well, I feel like in a ladder match, I'm at a disadvantage. I'm a submission-based wrestler. I've done jiu-jitsu. I've done amateur wrestling, and I feel like that doesn't really come in handy in a ladder match. But I have very heavy hands, and I'm very unpredictable. So all I got to do is beat the shit out of these 3 dudes, climb the ladder, and get my belt back. It's easier said than done, but I'm feeling really confident about it.
I believe it because they're going to have to go through you to get up there and get that title. And you have such a versatile style that if you were to grab one of them, you could just throw them around. They have no chance.
Yeah. It's going to be an exciting match. And then the day after, I'm booked for EWA Wrestling.
Oh, hell
Richmond.
yeah.
Yeah. To be announced. I don't know who I'm facing yet. To be honest, I don't think it matters. I think they're going to get slapped, and I'm going to pick them up and drop them on their head with my suplex.
That's the point. Because we witnessed that. Because look at the match we were watching. This guy had no chance. He thought that he had a chance against no good Jacob Ratliff.
Yeah. Look at this. You're showboating on him, right?
And that's after he hit him with another lariat.
Yeah. Nathan Bateman, right? I believe that was
Nathan
his name.
Bateman.
Man, he's a really good wrestler. I think he has a really bright future, super athletic. He was also an amateur wrestler, so he has that in common with you and me.
Nice.
Yeah, man, it just wasn't his night. It
Yeah,
just wasn't his night.
Sorry to cut you off. I think anytime you're put up against Jacob Ratliff, you're in for a tough night.
I try to bring a certain energy to my matches. I want people that come to the show. I mean, I want them to be like, there's something different about a Jacob Ratliff match.
That's right. I mean, I saw it because you hit him with 2 lariats. You had the snap release suplex. Your style is very hard hitting. You started out the match hitting them with a slap. that made him caught off guard. He didn't know what you were about to hit him with, and then you grabbed him and chucked him across the ring with that suplex. What's up, Donnie Green?
Hi, Donnie. How are you doing?
Very good guy.
Donnie,
Very good guy.
What were you saying?
Donnie just got back from Nashville.
Ooh, nice. How was your birthday?
Oh, it was good, man. You know, went to Nashville, got pretty tore up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Good time.
Sounds like a good time, yeah.
So, what inspired you to become a professional wrestler?
I was about 10 years old when I first started watching professional wrestling. And on ESPN, they had ESPN Classics.
Yep.
So the first wrestling I ever watched, believe it or not, was AWA wrestling.
Nice.
My very first wrestler, my first favorite wrestler was actually Sergeant Slaughter. I remember watching guys like him and the Texas Hangmen. So I watched the older wrestling before I watched the new wrestling, and it just hooked me. And I had to figure out who every wrestler was. I had to figure out everything about them. So I started watching Macho Man Randy Savage. I started watching Roddy Piper, Ric Flair. I watched so much old NWA wrestling. I watched it more than I did the current stuff. And I mean, as I got older, I started watching the current stuff, figuring out who those people were.
Yeah.
But I enjoy old school pro wrestling.
Hell yeah. You could tell that Sergeant Slaughter is someone that you have watched, and Stan Hansen, because your lariats are just on point like a Stan Hansen lariat.
I love to go back and watch Stan Hansen matches because, you know, he has that believability factor, and that's what I want to bring to my matches.
Exactly.
You know, I may not be able to do a 360. To be honest, I don't really want to do a 360. I'm not the world's greatest athlete. I don't really fucking care to be.
Here's the thing. I feel like you don't have to do a 360. Some guys have to do a 360.
Yeah, I feel like I can get just as a good reaction with a slap, a suplex, and if I can just bring the fight to every match I'm in, bring that believability to every match I'm in, I can steal the show. I want people to leave the show, you know, they might believe that pro wrestling's entertainment.
Yeah.
But I want them to believe that Jacob Ratliff's fucking real. And
Yeah.
if you ran up on me in the street, I would take you out.
That's
I'd
right.
I'd kick your fucking ass. Then that's why I try to bring in every single match. That's what I think makes me stand out compared to any other wrestler in the Indies in Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, or just anyone in the area.
Exactly.
That's was it? We've had a lot of people talk about you, and like we're not talking Joe Schmoes, like we're talking Bobby Blades and.
Hey, speaking of Bobby Blade, Bobby
Yeah.
Blade just chimed in.
Bobby
He said,
Blade, what up?
he said, I love Jacob Ratliff. I legitimately pop every time I get to call his matches.
Nick Himes, I've been seeing you on here. I was going to post something, but I couldn't figure out your tag.
You're the
But I've
toughest
seen you on
dude.
here.
You're
What
the
up?
toughest dude out of Bourbon County. He said.
Thanks, Nick. He's also from Bourbon County. Fun fact, Nick Hines was in a band with my uncle.
Not.
Yeah, my uncle played guitar in one of Nick Hines' bands. And it's just such a small world because, man, I've known Nick since I was like 10 years old. I used to mow this man's yard. You know, he used to come over and play poker with my pops. And he ended up being my manager of all things, too.
Man,
We saw that.
I had, dude. I'm like a Nick Himes mark, dude. I love this guy. We had him on the podcast one time, and it was one of the funnest shows ever. He is like the nicest, coolest guy, fucking ever, dude. I love him, dude.
But yeah, he's a really good person. I really like Nick Hines. I really like Bobby Blade, too. Thanks, Bobby, for the shout-out in your comment. I really appreciate that. If you want advice, Bobby Blade is the guy to ask.
Yeah.
That's right.
Bobby Blade has so much knowledge, and he's so willing to help anybody. I've got all the time in the world for Bobby Blade. So, you know, that's a big compliment. I really do.
Same here. Also, don't forget Pretty Terrific, Bobby Blade.
Yeah.
He's had many monikers. He's had Lone Wolf, Simba, Pretty Terrific. He's done it all. IndieX, everything.
We've also heard about his elbow drop.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
So-
do say that's the stiffest move they've ever taken.
We're coming off NWA month, and the thing was, I would ask everybody, "What's the stiffest move you've ever taken?" And And without missing a beat, a lot of the people would say Bobby Blade's elbow from the apron to the floor, and it was the most hilarious thing to me. But Bobby Blade, you're a legend. I love you, dude.
That's what I hear too from a lot of the guys from the previous generation. That and Bobby Blade's got some heavy hands. He'll lay his shit in. With I think me and him would have had a hell of a match.
Yeah, y'all would have.
I'd have loved to work Bobby Blade.
He would have gave you his all because he gave it 100% every time he's out there.
He's so passionate about the business. I mean, I can't stop putting over Bobby Blade. He's like, not only do I look up to him, and he's the type of guy I can go for advice, but I honestly consider him a friend. Sometimes I just bullshit with him. I'm like, I'll just hit him up randomly, and I'm like, Brett or Sean. And me and him will talk till like 3 o'clock in the morning about whatever, like Mid-South Pro, just whatever. So
that's friendship for you right there.
If he sees this, sorry to make the podcast a little bit about Bobby Blade. Bobby Blade, if you see this, I do a show Thursday night called Straight Shooting with B Money, and I would love to have you on here just to talk about wrestling, just to ask you some questions, because there's some questions that I would like to talk about, like dream matches. What are some missed opportunities in wrestling? Like some questions that, like, I would like to talk to, somebody like Bobby Blade who is in love with the business.
he's a true historian.
Yes.
He really is.
Anyone listening, if you haven't subscribed to Bobby Blade's YouTube channel, go ahead and do it now. He has an archive of classic wrestling from all kinds of territories, and it's a must if you're a wrestling fan. If you're an
Chris
old school
Crow
wrestling
just
fan.
put you over as well. He said, met you a couple of times. You seem like a Jim dude.
Thank you.
That's the thing we've got, and we've got so many people that's been putting you over, it's made us to the point where man, we gotta get this guy on the podcast, and it's great to have you here now.
I really appreciate Chris Crow's comment, man. He's somebody I really want to get in the ring with one day because, man, he's fucking incredible.
I'd love to see that match.
I think there's money there. So I appreciate your comment, Chris. I really do. I appreciate all the guys, like you said, have been putting me over. That really does mean a lot.
Because you are believable inside that ring. And when you were wrestling that guy, we believed you wanted to kill him. Just walking up on him and slapping him, we believed that you were letting him know, hey, kid, it's my ring. What you trying to do on me?
And also,
and that release Suplex.
Another thing I've noticed about you is that how you work the crowd. That is completely a lost art in pro wrestling right now. And I've seen you from just a couple matches I've watched have been able to work the crowd and get them into it. Building your name up. It's really cool, man.
Thank you. I also think it's a lost art, but I think it's a necessity.
Yes.
Okay, so I try to explain independent pro wrestling to people. I try to say, when you go to Monday Night Raw, right, you can boo and cheer all you want. Roman Reigns probably isn't going to hear you.
Yep.
He's probably not going to interact with you. He might if you're in the front row, but if you're in the nosebleeds, not so much. But when you go to see independent wrestling, they come for the experience. They want to be interacted with. So, you might...
Yeah, you don't have to pay $500 to be front row and maybe get a signature. If it's not on TV, or if it's on TV, you're not getting that signature. You're not getting that selfie. You know what I mean?
It's an up-close experience, So I try to interact with people because that's a memory,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you, before you got into wrestling, when you was younger, did you go to any of the shows around Kentucky?
I didn't start going into independent wrestling shows until I was in high school. I was 19, fresh off the wrestling team, and I had a friend in the business. His name was Ryan Huff. He did some
Ryan Huff, dude. I wish he was watching right now.
He should be.
I love Ryan Huff, dude. One time he booked, he got us to do a show. I think it was the memorial show for Tommy Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace. And that was the last time my dad actually wrestled. And you know who actually was on that card too? Was Alex Zane. Are you aware with Alex Zane?
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's in New Japan, and that was before he blew up or anything. I followed him on Instagram, and boom,
super talented, wonderful guy. He used to come down to the PTW shows and stuff. Super talented, wonderful guy. He couldn't have been nicer to a rookie like me. So I always appreciate that, man.
Did you get to wrestle him?
No, I didn't. But you know, it's not out of the question one day.
That's right. I'd like to see you versus Alex Zane.
I remember the PTW days. You got any stories or anything? PTW?
I have a lot of positive memories in PTW. There's a lot of things I don't really want to get into because I want to talk more about the future.
Exactly.
I've made a lot of great friends in PTW. Friends that have had my back and like lifelong friends that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. When I didn't have a place to go, one of my friends I met PTW, one of my very best friends, let me sleep, at his house and try to get me a job and try to help me out. So I've made a lot of bonds and friends along the way in PTW. Overall, it was a positive experience. Not 100% a positive experience, but I try not to let the negative outweigh the good.
That's true.
Yeah.
There are so many great guys that came through PTW. The guy that trained me, Ronnie Roberts.
Ronnie Roberts.
Hell yeah, good one right there.
I remember when Ronnie was doing because I was a young kid. If you probably don't know, but my dad was a pro wrestler, and he was in the NWA time. Like he wrestled from I think '98 to about 2013. And then he had that last match at the Georgetown show, and Ronnie, I remember when he was doing the Ravishing Ronnie. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, he would shave the R into his chest, dude. It was hilarious.
When you talk about working the crowd, that's something Ronnie really hammered in on us. And he still does that to this day. I wrestled him like 2 weeks ago. And, man, he had the people in his palm. The art of working the crowd. He's who I learned the most from. He's the man that trained me. And there's a lot of people that helped. Brandon Taggart, big bad Brandon Taggart, had a lot to do with me. He really did help. Bishop Blake had a lot to help. And that was the good thing about PTW. Guys would just stop in, and they would just help us anytime they could. I remember Chris Majors would get in there and would help me all the time. Sometimes he would just call me like in an afternoon, and he would have the keys to the venue, the sportatorium, and it'd be just me and him wrestling for a couple hours, just getting some extra ring time. Jordan Cage would get in there.
Jordan Cage,
yeah, there were so many guys. Derek Neal, so many guys would come in, and they would just try to teach you anything. You could ask anyone for advice in that locker room.
That's what it's all about in professional wrestling.
And that's
all that knowledge goes right here.
That's what I really appreciate about PTW. Like that's what I say when the good outweighs the bad. Because I have a lot of those guys, were guys I looked up to, and now a lot of those guys are friends of mine.
Yep.
That's something that you cannot replace in professional wrestling.
I want to actually, because I just remembered, I got Ryan Huff on Snap. I'm going to send him a quick snap real quick. In the studio.
What up, Ryan?
But that's something that professional wrestling is all about, camaraderie. Once you have that, wrestling's fun inside the ring, but outside the ring, you got those friends that you're building memories with. That's what I've learned from all the wrestlers that we've had on here. Like they say,
the brotherhood.
Yep.
Speaking of Ryan Huff, I'm going to tell you the story of how I got in the business. It was my senior year at the Bourbon County High School, right? I was a wrestler. It was my senior year. I was a wrestler on the wrestling team, and we were going up against Scott County. I can't remember the guy's name, but they had like a smoke machine. Everyone was coming out to entrances, and our Coach French, thought it would be fun if we came out to pro wrestlers music. So my friends were coming out to like Triple H music or Hulk Hogan. I come out to fucking Steve Austin, have like this great entrance with the smoke machines and stuff. I go and wrestle this kid, and within the first like 3 minutes, I've done clubbed the fucking headgear off of his head. Bow, bow. Just clubbed him in the back of the head. His headgear falls off, and the ref's yelling at me and shit. I don't even remember if I won. I don't even think I did. But, like, I just clubbed his neck fucking purple. And, sorry, I got a little ahead of myself.
No, it's fine.
They asked us, because, I was a senior, and they would come up, and you'd go to the middle of the mat, and they'd be like, what do you want to do with after high school? They'd ask you what your dream job was. It was, it was like a little interview. And I said, I want to be a professional wrestler. Right after my match, Ryan Huff comes up to me and was like, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. I go up to him and was like, I'm in the business. I used to manage for the business. I know some of the guys at PTW. I can get you in there. That's what got me into PTW. It was Ryan Huff. I wouldn't have been in the business without him helping me. So I will put over Ryan Huff every single podcast that I do from now on till I die.
That's awesome.
He opened the door for me, so I really do appreciate him.
Great dude. Like he wasn't even a coach, and his kid wasn't even wrestling. And
Yeah.
he would come to the meets just to come, and he would, dude. Him and my dad would talk. Like me and him would talk about wrestling, Scarefest. Because if you don't know, well, you don't know this. He worked Scarefest some years, and like we'd talk about that. Cool guy.
Yeah. I used to wear NWO shirts to like my wrestling meets.
Yeah.
And he'd always too sweet me. I was like, man, this guy's cool. That's before I even knew him. He was a super cool guy, super friendly.
That's one thing I used to do too. Like it was a weird thing I would do, but I would always wear. I wanted to be different. I wanted to stand out as a wrestler.
Mhm.
And I would wear, specialized socks, and I would always when I got on that podium, I would wear like a different shirt.
Mm-hmm.
One time I wore, I think Regions. One time I wore the Elite or the American Nightmare shirt, Cody Rhodes shirt. One time I wore the Elite shirt. I wore a Ric Flair one time, and I wore a Motley Crue one time.
I used to have a handlebar mustache.
I remember that.
Yeah, I used to have that.
I remember the handlebar mustache.
Fucking 18 years old having a handlebar mustache. Good times, man. I miss the amateur wrestling days. That's something I wish that I took more seriously in school. I wrestled my 8th grade year, and I was 1 point away from going to state.
Yeah.
I lost by 1 point. I could have went to state. And, like, I tried to wrestle, through high school, but I just couldn't pass high school, man. I was a DF student. I'd get in trouble, and they wouldn't let me wrestle because I was just a little fucking shithead. I had to grow up. My senior year, I finally got to come back, and I was so far behind. But I enjoyed it. I had fun. I was on the team with my friends, and it got me into pro wrestling. It opened the door for me. So I'm very grateful for what I have learned. My coach, Terrell, you know Terrell?
Yes, he actually is the coach of Brian's Station now.
Really?
Yes.
That's fucking...
Terrell, what's his
Roberts?
name?
Is it Roberts?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Dreads?
He didn't have dreads when I knew him, but really, really great wrestler, super cool guy. He pulled me aside after my last amateur match, in school.
Yeah.
And he said, Jacob, if you'd have took this more seriously, you'd have been a great amateur wrestler, but that's behind you now. He's just like, I want you to go. I want you to be the best professional wrestler you can. He's just like, I feel like you don't even have to have a persona or a gimmick. Just be who you are. Because I'm about half fucking crazy for real. So,
and that's what I've said about like why some of these guys that are like really big are so great. It's because Stone Cold is Stone Cold. He's Steve Austin.
Turned up to 11.
It's Seth Rollins. He's just Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes. He doesn't have a gimmick really. He's Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. He has a nickname.
I mean, look at Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
He goes into a bar, he's Ric Flair. He wakes up, he's Ric Flair. It's just, that's who he is.
Same thing with Dusty Rhodes.
I heard a story not too long ago. I seen it on like TikTok or something, but they said it's so common to see Ric Flair in a bar in Tampa that it's not even like he's a celebrity.
He's just a regular.
He's just a regular guy that you see at the bar nowadays.
What about Bruiser Brody? He used to be Bruiser Brody no matter what, in or outside the ring.
Man, there was a lot of missed opportunities because he was murdered, and it's really sad. But Bruiser Brody he was one of the guys, man.
We got Benjamin T. Bishop watching.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Nick Heim said, any chance you remember the first time you hit a bong at my house? No good, Jacob Ratliff.
That's not a story we're telling on the podcast, Nick. But yes, I do remember.
And we got Chucky Smooth tuning in.
You wearing a wire right now, Nick? You got a wire on?
He trying to find out dirt.
Nick, I'm gonna ask you a question. This is a story I wanted to tell on the podcast. Do you remember that time we went to the Cracker Barrel, Nick? And Juicy Jimmy went fucking apeshit because the waitress put ice in his orange juice. I have never seen someone get so mad over some orange juice. All right, so it's like we're in a time crunch, right? We're going to go to an RWA show. Me, Nick, a bunch of other guys. Nick brought some of his bandmates and stuff, and we're all staying at a cabin. It's a fun weekend, a big weekend, right? We're going to Cracker Barrel get some breakfast. And, like, they're being kind of slow, and it's not the best Cracker Barrel. But we're all super fucking hungry. Jimmy orders some orange juice, all right. The woman brings over some orange juice with some ice in it. I have never seen someone go straight diva over some orange juice. The look that Jimmy Clough gave this woman was just like, this is what's wrong with America right here. Where are the good workers at? Where are the good waitresses at? By God, it went on like a 45-minute like tirade. Do you remember that, Nick? I bet he does. It was one of the funniest.
Yep, he remembers he's a huge pop.
It's true fucking story.
I got a question for you. So I've asked some of these older guys about different ribs and stuff, like they pulled and stuff like that, and I want to know if that's like still a thing today. Like, are people still pulling ribs and like pranking each other backstage, or is it like a lost time?
I don't really know if there's any ribs. I mean, we bust each other's balls all the time. Like, guys that I'm close with, like me and Jimmy will bust each other's balls all the time. He's somebody I ride a lot with, and he really helped me out. Excuse me, a little indigestion.
Hey, it's all right.
He really helped me out when I went on my own, when I split away from PTW and tried to go out on my own. He really helped me navigate some of the business. So I know I'm giving Jimmy some shit over some orange juice. True story, by the way. I stand by that. But he did help me out. He helped me get in the RWA. He tried to teach me the business side of things. So I do appreciate him. I really do.
He also appreciates you because he puts you over all the time, too.
Oh, shit, we give each other hell all the time. He's like my big grumpy uncle.
That's what it's all about.
My tag team partner, wink wink, said, "What's up, B Money?" It's my dude, Braxton Hunley.
Tuffy Jr.
Tuffy Jr.
That's who you got to be a tag team with.
Wink wink. Wink wink.
Hey, he's already got his gear coming.
Hey, yeah, I know. He called me. Hey.
But also, Donnie Green wants to train you.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it?
Hey, so I want to get into professional wrestling, but I got to get back into shape. But there's a slight problem. I owe Planet Fitness $100 because I lost my damn card, and I need to get in shape. I don't want to fucking run outside because it's just, I don't know. It's awkward for me, and so support the Nice Guy Andy podcast. So we can get enough money to get me back in the gym and revive something from me.
Brother, the same. I owe the gym in fucking Paris like $300.
Oh, damn.
It's just fucking whatever. There's like 3 gyms in Paris. It'll be all right. I'll just run around like Rocky.
Exactly. I mean, Rocky got into shape without needing all these gyms. He'd run upstairs. He was using meat to pound on it without a punching bag. He was lifting things that wasn't even dumbbells or barbells. That can help too.
What do you think about the scene from Rocky where Rocky wrestles Thunder Lifts? Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
I watched that movie the other day.
I actually have that collectible, like the figure of Thunder Lifts.
That's such a good movie.
It
Such a good
is.
movie.
That's Rocky 3, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Rocky 3. My favorite Rocky is Rocky 4, though.
Yeah.
So, you say you want to get back in shape. Have you ever considered like rolling? Because I'm sure that
I have, but I think it's pretty expensive. It's like $150.
I think the gym I go to in Paris, which I haven't been going as much as I should, I really want to start getting back into it again. I've just been busy with some things outside of,
Yeah.
The Bourbon Submission Academy in Paris, Kentucky. It's an excellent place to train. and they'll get you in shape and they'll teach you.
That's my thing. Like my whole time wrestling, I didn't, because I don't like going to the gym. It's so boring to me.
Mhm.
But like where all my cardio and strength came from was just rolling with guys, just getting in there and wrestling for 30 minutes to 2 hours. Like that's how I got so good, really.
I think that you would really like it at the Bourbon Submission Academy in Paris. I can't put those guys over enough. They are so welcoming. They are, they go out of their way to teach people as much as they can. Yeah. I'd go in there. I'm a spazzy white belt, aggressive as shit, strong as fuck. And, I mean, they'd stretch me sometimes. I'm not going to lie. But they'd always, pull me aside. This is what you need to work on. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do to get better. Help me work with my technique. I think that you would really enjoy that since you're a former amateur wrestler, too. If you want, I could hook you up after the podcast. Maybe talk to some guys. Yeah. Will trains there. Bunch of guys. Will Baber trains there. You know him from amateur wrestling.
You hear that from Jacob Ratliff. We might get B-Money into shape, and I might get in the ring and fuck some of you up. Fuck some of you up.
I mean, that's what you got to do.
Come on. Johnny, I'm getting too riled up. I might rip my fucking shirt off.
Hey,
it might be
if
time.
you got to show them, you got to show them.
Dude, when I hear that, I'm ready to go, Johnny.
I run to that song all the time, man. It juices you up. It really does.
It does.
I can't
More
watch
games to
Rocky.
watch it as well.
Dude.
Oh, hey, how are you?
And what's your goals at EWA?
My goal?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm going to answer this as carefully as I can. I feel like since EWA has been around, I have had the most brutal fights that EWA has ever seen. I'm not going to call them matches. I call them fights.
Exactly.
I believe my first match there was a Fight Club Open Challenge against Dwayne Davis. And I haven't seen Dwayne Davis in about 6 to 7 months. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he wrestles anymore. But I like to think that I put on match of the night that night.
You did.
People still ask me about it from time to time. Then I had an awesome match with Steel Wool. There's not a whole lot of footage out there. It was a Fight Club Open Challenge. And this was probably one of my favorite matches I ever had. Steel Wool's an incredible performer, but man, he's got some hands. We went in there and we threw. We just threw down. He gave me a German suplex on the floor. I'm fucking punching the shit out of him. I think he said he couldn't eat for 2 weeks. The brutality. I steal the show every time I wrestle at EWA. The last show, I stole the show. People were talking about my match.
That's right.
I think I want to get some of the respect that I deserve. I think I'm the most entertaining fighter on the EWA roster. Now, man, you got some bad motherfuckers. I'm sorry for cursing so much on the podcast.
You're good.
Hey,
we're
that's
not
okay.
demonetized.
Here we ain't PG.
Well, we get demonetized for some stuff on here.
But we're fine with the cuss.
Fuck Facebook, even though we're live on Facebook.
Yep.
Sorry, Facebook.
If I push the envelope too much, brother, reel me in, please. Let me know.
Yeah, you can't pull your cock out or nothing, but we're good.
But we got some really tough guys in that locker room. I'm not disparaging the toughness of the EWA locker room. You have Omega. You have Marcus Johnson. Excuse me. You have Chris Crow. There's some tough competitors in Elite Wrestling Alliance. But I think I'm the toughest.
That's right.
And that's no disrespect to anyone on the roster. I cannot say that enough. But I don't think anyone can hit as hard as me. I think if anyone tried to roll with me, they'd get grapple fucked. And no one has yet to prove me wrong. So they can set me up with whoever. I'm going to kick their ass in the ring. I'm going to put on a show. I will have match of the night again and again and again.
That's right, because
it's not about belts, all right? It's not about the social media circle jerk, which I got a real big problem with, putting me over. I want the fucking respect.
Put me over. 3,000 fucking posts a day. Nobody gives a shit.
I want the fucking respect. Okay? I feel like I've put in the work.
Dude.
All right? I'm not some comedy fucking rookie anymore.
Exactly.
Okay? I will fucking drop you in the ring.
See, that's the thing I see a lot of now is these people, they just keep posting all this stuff. And they're not they're not drawing any views. But a guy like you, so many legends have came out and so many people have talked about Jacob Ratliff. That's showing that you don't self-promote really that much.
And that's something I need to get better at. That really is. That's a weakness in my game, and I need to up that.
Yeah.
But in a world full of people trying to be like Ricochet, I feel like I'm Harley Race.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm Carl Gotch. I feel like I can bring the believability to any fucking match that I'm in. I'm not the toughest dude in the fucking world. I'm not Rampage Jackson. You can flip, I can punch. Let's go. Let's fucking whoever I wrestle at the next show, I'm looking to make a statement. I want to keep carrying this momentum. You know, people are saying that I had match of the night the last show. I want to have match of the night again. I want to have the match of the night every night. I want to steal the show. And that's not me trying to be arrogant. It's something I need to do for myself. All right. Yeah. Mark Morris came up on this podcast, and Mark Morris is such an intelligent guy.
That's right.
All right, man. He has done everything in this business. What did he say? He said Jacob's biggest problem is the mental. He needs to believe in himself. For me to do that, I need to go in and I need to have the best match every single night. I need to steal the show. How can I do that? With fucking brutality.
That's right.
Okay? No one can... If you want to roll, if you want to trade holds, let's go. If you want to have a Fight Club Open challenge, I'll suplex you off the steps. Okay? I've done it once. I've done it again. That is who I am. That is my style. I can... That is my goal. I'm going to steal the show. It doesn't matter who they put me up against. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't have to wrestle them. They have to wrestle me.
That's a good goal. And Bob Blade said, I've said that Jacob Ratliff is like a modern-day necro butcher.
I've gotten that a lot. That's a big compliment to me.
It is.
It's not on purpose. I never try to, emulate the necro butcher. I didn't start watching Necro Butcher until I'd already gotten in the business and people started comparing me to him. And I'm like, I watch back his matches. I'm like, is this guy my dad? I look just like him. I wrestle just like him. I don't know. I guess we're two tough hillbillies. You know? Mean, he's dirty. I'm dirty.
And your style speaks for itself. You're in that ring. Nobody can match up with you when they're standing across from you.
My favorite thing about that Dwayne Davis match, if I can go back to that, I didn't know how that match was going to go. I wanted to do the Fight Club Open Challenge for years. Like we talked about before the podcast. Yeah. Growing up, I fought in a shoot fight club, and I know people laugh and they giggle at it. Like, whatever, you're just some stupid kids fighting in the backyard. I was swinging. I was fucking throwing hands since I was 15.
We saw it.
I was dropping people on their head.
See, I like that more than a guy who was a fan and paid somebody $100. That way they can get trained in the wrestling business. That's what I like to see, is like guys like you who are legit badasses and would actually, scare somebody rather than fucking me in the crowd looking at you going, I can fuck that guy up.
I wanted to bring the Fight Club Open Challenge for a while. I wanted to bring that same intensity that I had when I was a teenager. I'd got no bigger fucking rush in this world. I wasn't good at school. I wasn't the best amateur wrestler, right? I wasn't the most popular guy. I'm kind of an awkward, weird dude. But I felt at home when I was punching people in the face. When I was taking them down on the ground, the one time I felt whole was when I was elbowing the shit out of somebody on the fucking ground, telling them to tap before I broke their fucking arm.
That's right.
Okay. I'm trying to bring that energy to pro wrestling because I think pro wrestling needs that.
Really does. There's no intensity anymore. You see these guys lock up, go through the match. I want to see people if we're in a match, I want to look at you, and you and me both have this intensity of, I want to fucking kill you and you want to fucking kill me, but let's fucking kill each other in this match and give these fans something they actually want to see. Let's give them almost a real fight. You know what I mean?
It's a fight. It's a worked fight. Okay? It's not a performance. It's a worked fucking fight.
That's right.
Okay? And I'm not even disrespecting the people that people think differently about the business.
Yeah.
When you ask them. Okay? There's going to be some people, they love the showmanship, the drama.
Yeah.
I've heard people refer to it as modern day theater. And it is to a certain point. It really is. But
here's my thing.
yeah, go ahead.
So, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
So, fucking, oh God, wrestling's fake.
I can't stand that word.
Iron Man fucking, it's the same fucking shit!
It can make you feel something.
Iron Man's faker than 300 days these guys were going out and wrestling, putting their bodies on the line, injury after injury, tape them up, take a Percocet, fucking going back in there.
Yep.
That's what people don't understand.
The type of wrestling that I grew up watching. I grew up on the old school stuff, like I said. You believed in all these guys. Don't get me wrong, they were larger than life, but they were fighters with big personalities.
That's
okay,
right.
I'm a fighter. What makes Jacob Ratliff different than any other fighter? There are 1,000 badasses in the ring, probably more legit than me. There are 1,000 badasses in professional wrestling. What makes Jacob Ratliff different? I got personality.
And that personality.
I got personality.
Tanner Hall, my boy, what up?
I want the Dwayne Davis match. If I'm going back to that, I got derailed. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'm a little
Good.
punch drunk sometimes. But fucking, the fans got quiet during that match. And I was always told if the fans are quiet, you're not doing it right. I went back to Gorilla. And I started apologizing. I'm like, man, that match was shit. I'm sorry. I thought it was... No, they were quiet because I caught their fucking attention. They thought that they were seeing something they weren't supposed to. They're like, whoa, 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 whoa. What is happening here? What's this? This guy's really wailing on him. Okay, I made them believe. And that's what you're supposed to do. Just for a second. Just to put that seed of doubt into their heads. It's a show.
That's my kind
But it's a
of
worked
professional
fight.
wrestling.
It's a worked fight. Okay? You're going to be able to go home to your family. You're going to be able to go to the shoot job the next day. You're going to be able to hold your children. But when you're in that ring, I want that intensity. Okay? I need it.
Exactly.
I need that rush. I don't get that rush. If I'm just sitting around, got a dude in an arm wringer, you want me to break it? You want me to break it? Yeah, I want you to break it, boo.
Yeah.
I don't get that rush.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm being phony. I feel like I'm not giving my 100% best.
Exactly.
I want to give the fans, I want to give them what they paid for. I want them to believe in me. I want them to believe in what I'm doing. There's not a whole lot of difference in Jacob Ratliff, the person, and Jacob Ratliff, the pro wrestler. There's not a whole lot of difference whatsoever. I want them to believe in me, okay? The same guy, you run up into me at Walmart, I'm basically the same guy. I'm just turned up to 11 when I'm in the ring.
That's right.
I'm trying to put on a show for you. If you're going to take, in today's economy, you're going to take time out of your day. You're going to take money out of your wallet to come and watch me wrestle. You're going to bring your kids. You're going to bring your wife. You're going to bring, I don't know, a friend or your brother. I don't know. You're going to bring a whole carload of people to see me wrestle. I'm going to give you my 100% best, okay? I might not have the best work rate. I don't care. But I will make you fucking believe. I will touch your soul every time I step in the ring, okay? And if I can do that, I've done my job.
That's the best.
If I can make you, I have made people laugh. I have made people cry. I've made people believe. And that's what you got to do. And that's the magic. That's the magic.
Exactly. That's what a lot of other guys don't get because they don't try to bring that intensity like they should.
I want them to believe in me.
But that's the whole point. You make them believe. That night at that Fight Club match, you made them believe. When they went quiet, it wasn't because they were bored. It's because they were hanging on to everything that you were doing to Dwayne Davis. They were like, was that supposed to happen? Because I could hear people even talking about it. They're like, is he really trying to kill him? And there you got people screaming, don't be doing that because you're beating the hell out of him. You hit him with a suplex on the floor, and they're all like, oh my God, I can't believe he's really trying to kill this man right now. That's professional wrestling. And then you and Steel Wool, y'all were just throwing down, fist after fist, everything y'all were doing to try to kill each other.
That's That's my style. That's what I can bring to the table to make me different.
Exactly.
Okay. Like I said before, everyone has their own vision of professional wrestling. It is like ice cream.
Yep.
Okay? Somebody might like strawberry. Somebody might like vanilla. Somebody might like Rocky Road. None of these things are wrong.
Yep.
Okay? The people that believe that it's a performance, and they believe in, that it's theater, they're not wrong. That's just not my style.
Yeah.
That's not what I think I can provide the most to the business with my style. That's what I can contribute to the business. That's what I can contribute to the fans and contribute to the shows. So I have a very certain style, and I work really hard for that style. And if I get a busted lip, or if I, it's okay. Worthy sacrifice. So if I go home a little sore, it's a worthy sacrifice. I'm willing to take that extra step.
Exactly, because that's professional wrestling.
If I get the shit beat out of me, that's fine. As long as the people get what they want, and as long as the people believe I'm happy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because people are paying to see y'all beat the hell out of each other. And if they believe for that little bit, you've already hooked them. And that's what you did at that Fight Club match. You hooked them. They all were wanting to see what was Jake Ratliff doing to this man. Because Dwayne Davis, he was giving as good as he got, but at the same time, they felt like you were trying to really kill this man.
I wanted, before then, the crowd in Richmond and back then Frankfurt, they knew me from the KPW days. They knew me from the PTW days.
Yeah.
They still thought I was the Tiny Hoss.
Yeah.
The Tiny Hoss was a gimmick. It was a good starter gimmick. I did the best with it. I was very entertaining. I was very good at it. I was very funny. I was very entertaining. And they would always chant biscuits at me. That was my catchphrase.
Yeah.
Do you want to risk it? Come get the biscuit. Or talk about Mama Haas's biscuit. After that match, I showed them a different side of me. They don't chant biscuits at me anymore.
Exactly.
I'm not the goofy kid with the Pee Wee Herman gimmick, the Mr. Rogers gimmick, the SpongeBob SquarePants kitty gimmick. They now see the real me.
Yep.
And that's what I wanted to accomplish. The believability that I am the real me, which I am. It's not a gimmick here.
When did that transition sort of happen when you went from this gimmick to Jacob Radcliffe?
There was one match in particular. I think the light bulb went on for me.
Exactly.
It was.
Hold on, I'm getting a phone call.
Oh, somebody. Okay.
Hello.
Oh.
Either going to be someone that wants to come talk to you, or NiceGuyAndy's contacting them right now to come let them in. But that's what it's all about. You feel a switch, and you're like, I don't want them to see me as that guy. I want them to see me as me.
In Paradigm Pro Wrestling, all right, I came in with a group with Adrian Alexander,
Good group.
and Juicy Jimmy, the shot callers.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Another good promotion too, Paradigm Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, yes. It's one of the best around. But where I'm getting at with that is, we did a lot of good work in Tennessee. It was time for me to split off on my own. And they had a UWFI division. You know what UWFI is?
What would it be?
It's almost like worked shoot fighting. It's almost like bass rooting.
Yeah.
You throw palm strikes, law submissions, TKOs.
Yeah.
They had a whole division dedicated to that. I felt like I belonged in that. I showed the promoter my Fight Club footage. I told him how I wanted to be in that. I tried to be in it for years. I hit them up. I sent them my resume. They weren't interested in the Tiny Hoss. But now I'm in Paradigm Pro Wrestling, but I'm just a guy in a faction. Nothing against the faction. I love both those guys in that faction. But I want it to be my own man. Come to find out, I'm in a match with Brogan Finley, son of pro wrestling legend Fit Finley. And I was not in a good place in my head, in my life, and in my soul during that time. There's a lot of anger in me. And I was tired of being overlooked. I was not happy in the ring, outside the ring. And I just had enough. We went in here. UWFI, Brogan Finley, Jacob Ratliff. I wanted to make a statement, right? The match was only going to go 4 minutes. What can you do to get over in 4 minutes against a son of a legend? I only needed one move.
That's true.
I gave him my elbow strike, the same elbow strike. Sorry, folks. Elbow strike I gave Nathan Bates. I gave it to him. I told him. I met him in the middle of the ring. I was like, Brogan, right in his face. Meet me in the fucking middle. I said, I don't care whose dick you come out of. You ain't shit. Drilled him. He got up. We were throwing, chopping, punching, clubbing. I brought that intensity out for the first time. I showed Paradigm Pro Wrestling what I'm capable of. I'm not some comedy dude in a faction. I can be so much more. And after that, it changed. People started seeing a different side of me. That's when the light bulb hit. I had a brutal match with Brogan Finley. My lip was busted open. I took a tombstone pile driver. I rolled out to the apron, and I just spat out mucus, blood, and puke. Right there. Fucking... After that, and that's when it all changed for me. That match blew up. People still ask me about that match today. That's when the light bulb went off in my head.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Johnny.
Will we see future Fight Club matches?
I'm always down for a Fight Club Open Challenge match. That's my specialty match. That's something that I feel like I can do differently than anybody else. I think it's different than a street fight. I think it's different than a no disqualification fight. It's something that only I can do. No one else can do a Bourbon County Fight Club match. And if there's any wrestler that wants to compete in one against me and wants to step up, more than welcome. I don't care who they are, where you're from. I generally mean this. Go ahead. Go ahead. I would love to get in there and have a Bourbon County Fight Club match with anybody.
Exactly.
You know, if somebody wants to come in here and test me, and I knew I do need to be tested, okay? It makes me want to work harder. Because one of these guys are going to come in here and they're going to beat the shit out of me. Okay, there's a lot of tough dudes in this business.
Yep.
Like I said, I don't like using the F word.
It's fine.
Okay? I'm not talking about fuck. I'm talking about fake. It's not. There are some badasses in this fucking area. Okay? Omega.
Damn straight. That's one guy that I would like to see you fight in a Fight Club match.
We was talking about him earlier, and we've watched a couple of the, I think is it EWA or
Yep, EWA.
We've watched a couple of their shows on here, and every time I'm impressed by this guy.
There are so many guys that I would love getting there and have that type of match with. Okay? There are so many badasses. Fucking, I can't even name them all, but someone like Omega, there's money on the table to be there.
Yeah, there is.
Jacob Ratliff or something, and he's one of my best friends in this business, and he knows it.
Best friends make the best.
And we've wrestled before. But that's just the beginning. There's so many guys I'd love to have that type of match with. There's a lot of guys that want to have that type of match. There's some dudes that don't, and that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. You do you.
Yep.
My window's always open.
Exactly.
I don't fear anybody. Let's get in the ring and let's make some magic. Let's make some violent fucking magic.
That's what I like to see.
If there's anyone out there, you want to have a Fight Club Open Challenge or Fight Club fight, Bourbon County Fight Club fight, we can make it happen. Okay?
That's what I'm talking about.
We can make it happen. Let's do some business. Let's go.
Y'all heard it there.
Let's grapple. Let's throw some hands. Let's steal a show. Let's leave the people in awe.
Who are the people that you'd like to wrestle inside the future?
In the future? Here's the thing. I don't like talking about dream matches.
Yeah.
Okay. And most podcasts, I notice that's a question that gets asked a lot.
Yeah.
Well, what's your dream match? I don't like thinking like that. The opportunities that are given to me, I want to do the very best I can with them. Whatever opportunity that I'm given against any opponent in any place, I want to knock it out of the park.
Exactly.
And if we're looking at a selfish point of view, I don't think in dream matches I think, how can I make the most money? How can I make the biggest impact?
That's smart.
We was once told by Stan Sierra.
Oh, Stan's so smart. I love
Stan the
Stan.
man.
He said, if you ain't making money, then why are you wrestling?
It's a business. It's a business.
Why would you want to go in there and get beat up for no reason? You know what I mean? Like, he said that one time on the podcast.
Yes, he did.
I've thought about that. And like, yeah, he's correct.
That's
Why would you want to get in there and potentially hurt yourself for nothing? You know what I mean?
Stan Sierra is a guy that, man, he's been on top for so long in this area. I mean, he's had main events fucking everywhere. He's a guy that knows what he's talking about.
He's a tribal chief of Kentucky.
Yes.
Truly. We got Taylor Bush. How you say it? Bushhog.
Bouchon.
Just came to say hi and say that Jacob has become one of my favorite to watch.
Thank you, Taylor. I really appreciate that. I really
Definitely
do.
Are. He punched me once.
Oh, dude.
The last
Stan
time we had
versus
him.
Larry.
That's probably a
Yes.
pretty good match, yeah.
Last time that we had Stan Sierra on here, he punched me. Me and him had a.
How'd that
though.
feel? How'd that feel?
It did
Johnny
not feel
was-
too good.
Johnny
Me and him actually had agreement.
Stan's a tough dude.
Yes, he is.
Stan's a tough dude. All right, try coming up to in a bar and talking smack to Stan Sierra.
Facts.
How'd that go for you?
Look at his
Dude,
muscles too.
What was it? Like, Johnny's my guy. At the time, me and Johnny had some heat. But he knocked the fuck out of Johnny. He's actually slumped Johnny. There's still maybe some drool on the hallway to where he knocked Johnny out.
Stan Sierra, man, he's a tough dude.
Yes, he is.
And he's another one. He's another guy that you ask for advice, he will help you. There are guys out there in the locker rooms that if you ask for advice, they will help you.
That's
and
right.
he's one of them. He's so knowledgeable. He's done it all. He really has.
And he's one of the guys that he puts his 100 into everything that he
Yes,
does.
he does. Yes, he does.
That's one of the reasons why I love him. Because watching him, you believe everything he does.
Man, it's insane because we had a couple podcasts with him, and once the mics are off, the cameras are off, he's still
He's himself.
Yeah,
He's
still himself.
Stan
Just crank-
Sierra.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
He's Stan 100% of the time. I got nothing but positive things to say about Stan Sierra. Anytime I was around him, could not be a better guy. Could not be a better professional. He's definitely one of the top dudes in the state.
Hell yeah. Because that's what professional wrestling is. Being yourself and being yourself even outside the ring. People don't understand. Some of the guys, they want to fight. They want to be brutal. They don't want to they don't want to cookie cut it. Look at Stan Sierra. Like he says, you're gonna hit me, you better fucking hit me. Don't do something that you don't think you could do outside the ring.
Is Stan back from injury?
I'm not sure, but I'd love to see him on the podcast some more. I'd really enjoy any time
Yeah.
he's on the podcast.
I'd like to get you and him together.
I'd be down for that.
And then
I'll talk to him about
I
it.
had I sent that snap to Ryan Huff earlier. He says he wants to be on the podcast too. So if you ever want to come back on, we can get you booked with Ryan.
You need to get the Soviet Stud on here again.
Nice.
You need, you know, Stud?
Yep. We know Steve Broughton.
Yeah.
We definitely want to get him back on here.
Yeah,
Because he's one of the guys that came in here and he stayed true to who he is inside the ring. He didn't change who he was. He came in here.
he's such a
He said-
sweetheart.
he said
He's
right
such
there,
a
said
sweetheart.
Sinclair.
He's one of the best people in the business. Now, Terry England wanted me to go in and, call him a dog. Like, you talk to him like a dog. You know, I can't help it. I love Stud. And he's been there for me when I was at my lowest. Anytime I need to talk about anything wrestling or personal, he's there. Good-hearted man. A good-hearted man. His wife is a real sweet woman, too.
Hell yeah,
And
that's
he-
what it's all about too.
He's got some hilarious road stories. You talk about ribs? Get him on the podcast and talk to him about ribs.
He was one of the guys that we had on first before back in 2022.
I love Stud.
Him, Vic the Bruiser. Vic Bruiser is one of
Oh.
the other ones that also.
Oh, Vic the Bruiser's great.
Yes.
He's a big comic book fan too. Did you know that?
Yep, he was on here and talked about that actually.
Sometimes me and him just talked about comic books. I'm a big comic book nerd too. I'm a nerd. I can't help it.
Hey, that's all right because I like comic books. He likes comic books as well.
I saw him the first few times I saw Vic the Bruiser. He had a Green Lantern shirt on, and like my inner nerd, I had to talk to him about Green Lantern. He's one of my favorites. You know, I mean, I love Batman and Spider-Man too, but Green Lantern is my guy. We can just have nerd conversations like that. I love Vic. He's another person. He will help you as much as he can. The younger guys, and me included, we need to do a better job about trying to ask the previous generation.
Yep,
and that's what Rated X said one time. We had somebody come. I'm not gonna name his name.
Yeah.
We had somebody come in here and ask Rated X, "Hey, could you give me some advice?" Rated X told him straight up, was like, "Listen." That's all he said was, "Listen."
They'll talk.
Yeah.
You just have to listen. Okay, they will do their best to help you, but you gotta meet them halfway.
Yep.
Okay, you can't blow them off.
And you can't get mad when they like critique you and stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It comes from a good place.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just want to see the business thrive like it used to, because
Did I say somebody blowing somebody off in here?
no
We got this guy, NiceGuyAndy, finally here. Took him a while. What's
Man,
up, boss?
Had to go make some money to pay the rent around here.
But you know,
He was doing that.
Brady X also brought this up that a couple years ago. They had 4 veterans, all with knowledge, inside the locker room, and not one young guy came up there to try to pick their brains. He said, "Why is it that today you see these guys? That's 4 guys with all this knowledge, and you got these other guys that don't want to come up and talk to them. It's not because they're scared. It's because these guys just don't think they can learn anything from veterans.
They're a great resource, and if like you look at it like any other job, right? If you're gonna be a plumber, right? You're a rookie plumber, don't know shit. So you're not gonna go ask the dude that's been plumbing for 25 years how you do this job, how you can do it better. I mean, what do you like?
Exactly.
So, you know, you gotta meet them halfway. I love the vets in the business. They are some of my favorite people to talk to.
Yeah.
Because they have the most interesting stories. They have the best insight. They will come at it with a different direction than what you're thinking of. I love my vets.
And their critique is something that helps you get better.
Yes, they want you to get better. Because they want wrestling to get better. Okay?
Yep.
And that's how you... Not only they can become mentors, but they can become friends. Like I said, Bobby Blade. I know I spent like 5 minutes putting Bobby Blade over. I'm going to continue to do it.
Exactly.
Guys like that, they will help you. Guys like that helped me a lot, like Kerry Awful. Kerry Awful was a big guy that helped me a lot. Juicy Jimmy. Guys like that would pull me aside. And you know, sometimes, Jacob, that match sucked. Jacob, you need to do this.
Yeah, I'd like to get him in here. He seems like a straight shooter, man. He seems like somebody that will just tell you how it is. I'd love to get him in here. If you can bend his ear for us.
Yep.
I can.
We've actually been inside the locker room with Ronnie Roberts and Chris Michaels.
I'd love to get Ronnie Roberts in here, too. That guy's... How much knowledge does he have?
He's the man who trained me.
Yeah.
Imagine my surprise at June 5th whenever after our match, I go back there to try to peek out, see how the crowd is doing. There's Chris Michael. He stands in his own private room. He's just peeking a little bit outside the door. All I said, "Nice to meet you." Shook his hand, and I let him get back to watching the crowd. And I went out there and I watched the crowd as well. You meet these guys, and these guys were giving out great knowledge back there. We were just bullshitting around. We had Scott Diamond, we had Austin Diamond, Joe Monroe, we had Ronnie Roberts, we had Terry England, Brandon T. Wilson. We're all just back there and having a blast. It's things like that that makes you realize wrestling's at its best when you got that camaraderie, that brotherhood. And I wish that more wrestlers would try to make their time to actually form that brotherhood with each other, because we're listening to Ray Bearstill and Donnie Green. There's times where they were getting ready to hang up the boots, and they're looking around, they're checking out these guys. All these guys just want to play video games, and they're not talking to each other. They're like, I miss back in my day when you actually spoke to each other and formed that friendship that would last forever.
Yeah. I think that the whole trying to get over and get your name bigger now it's social media helps a lot, but then like you'll get like some trolls on social media saying you'll get. I had some wrestlers ask me to take some videos down because we do take clips. You know, we take clips. We took some clips of you. You know, you've seen them. Your clips got a lot of views. You might have 5 or 6 guys saying, "Hey, your stuff sucks." But that's just 5 or 6 people. You got viewed by 50,000 people. Now, 50,000 people know your name. They might not remember your name, but say 50,000 people seen it. 10,000 is going to see your name. So you get your name out there. Like, don't worry about the 5 motherfuckers that said your shit sucked because those people suck. You know what I'm saying? They suck.
That's
I've had some wrestlers insist we take their stuff down, and we do. Anytime anybody asks us to take it down, we will. Even though, like, the one person that took it down, she was getting over big time. She had like 200,000 views, but there was like 10 people that didn't like what she was doing, and we ended up taking it down. And it's just
Here's another thing I'm going to add on to that. Anybody on here that gets under one of our videos and comments and hates, you're still another view. You're still another comment. Like, you're just boosting us, getting us more money. So when you're hating on us, shit.
Your haters become your biggest fans.
That's what I'm saying.
I have some feelings towards that, and I think it's not only a problem with our business and our community, but just overall, just in society.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, it's a lot easier to say something on Facebook than it is man to man and person to person.
Exactly.
Instead, and now I have misused social media, and I have whined and I have bitched when I didn't have the right to, and I'm sorry, and I apologize to that.
It's okay to whine and bitch about something that's happening to you or something that you don't like, but to sit there and
shit on somebody
and call them goofs or call them a name or something like that.
Why don't you just share a poster?
Yeah.
Or how about this? Instead of being like, wrestling's not for everybody. These goofs shouldn't be in the ring.
Yeah.
Okay, message these people. Okay, this is what you can do to get better. Okay, maybe somebody can help them out. Hey, there's a good training school here. You should really look and get training if you want to take this seriously.
And there's
try to help.
Yeah.
Try to bring them up to your level instead of trying to shove them down.
What they don't understand is that the indies are, and these shows that these independent shows that are being putting on, it's practice for you guys. Every time you go in there, you guys are like, I always compare it to stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
A stand-up comedian can sit here in this room and tell jokes to 3 or 4 people all day long. But once he gets up there in front of those 20, 30, 40, 200 people and works out his material, then he will not get good. He won't know what works. He won't know what doesn't work. It's just like you guys are the same way with your wrestling. It's like y'all can wrestle in that ring when there's nobody in the audience and think that you're doing a super job. But once you get out there in front of that audience, you'd be like, damn, that shit that we was practicing earlier don't work in front of the crowd. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a stand-up comedian. You're out there working out your material. You're practicing and practicing, and you're getting good. Like, and these people are like, oh, that looks like shit. That's fake. Well, these people are practicing. Like,
not every match is going to be WrestleMania 3.
That's right.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter until you can have 100 shitty matches, but then eventually it's going to click and click and click, and you're going to have great matches. You're going to have 100 shitty matches until you get to that one. I'm sure your first match was shitty.
And
right?
Also, if you think
our
about it,
our first podcast was shitty. We still do shitty podcasts.
hey,
we're still working it out. When I first got behind this microphone, Johnny first got behind this microphone.
We were shitty.
I was like, all that shit.
I was
Johnny
silent.
was too. Johnny wouldn't say shit. B Money still don't talk very much. He hasn't been
he talks pretty well.
He does talk
if you
good.
listen earlier,
He
he was
does talk-
asking some good questions.
No, you do. He
Too,
talks
too,
good,
so.
but like he hasn't had as many reps behind this microphone as me and Johnny have.
Because he just started, I think, around April.
He's probably had 20 20 times behind the microphone at that most. You know what I'm saying?
And think about this.
How many times you been in the ring?
Shit, I can't tell you. A lot.
Yeah, so the more you get in that ring, the more you work out. You got a fucking championship belt on your ring.
Yep.
But that's because that first shitty match
from Paradigm
that
Pro
second
Wrestling.
shitty match, that third shitty match, and then
Take a lesson from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lesson every time you get in that ring. Every time you get in that ring, every time we get behind this microphone, life is a lesson. Like, nobody's perfect. And if you're on social media saying that people are perfect, then you're not. You're an
That's
asshole.
right. It's a
You're an
lie.
asshole. You know?
Share a poster instead.
Yeah.
And also,
Share a clip of your favorite wrestler.
Yes.
And
Share,
also-
share a fun. I don't mean to cut you off.
no, it's
Johnny.
fine. But think about this: some of those people that's been talking shit, they try to claim that they were wrestlers. Well, if you're wrestlers that's criticizing these wrestlers, why don't you
They're
go in and message them
assholes.
privately? And
They're
If you have
assholes
a
or
problem-
stupid. Yeah, exactly.
If you have a problem with somebody, instead of trying to get that, laughy emoji reaction or whatever you're looking for, send a direct message. I don't have, this is an example. I have a problem with you, A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you can go up to a show, because we all know where each other are. Okay. You're going to be in fucking Paradigm the 13th, whatever, an example.
Yeah.
Come up to me man to man, eye to eye. I have a problem with you, A, B, and C. Let's talk it out.
Yeah.
We can shake hands and just disagree.
or
Or
settle it like me.
we can step outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I mean, another thing,
Yeah.
if you're
Nobody
too-
wants to step outside, though.
If you're,
Yeah,
if
they
you're-
get scared.
if you're
They
too
talk a
chicken-
lot of shit. People talk a lot of shit, but nobody wants to step outside.
Like
you're-
Mike Tyson said, social media has made it too comfortable for people to talk shit with their fingers until somebody punches them inside the mouth.
You can't go and solve all problems
Yeah.
with that. It's a nuclear option. Okay?
Yep.
But go up to that person, address the issue. Andy, I don't like you
Yeah.
because I don't fucking know. Example, whatever.
So, do you think that that shitty wrestling has a place in wrestling too, or do you think everybody needs to be?
Okay, let's compare it to music.
Yeah,
Especially like on local like bar shows and stuff.
yeah,
Not every band's going to be the greatest.
yeah, exactly.
But those people are just living their dream.
They're living their dream.
They're playing their music.
Yeah,
They might get better, they might not.
I think me and Johnny had the shittiest match ever in wrestling history, but we got in the ring and did it. You know what I'm saying? We're not wrestlers, but we got to live our dream that day, and
Yeah.
that was
People actually
incredible.
pop for me beating you.
Oh yeah, they love Johnny. Johnny put the. Did you see the match? Johnny put the plunger in my face. It's like,
I swear that I thought that I broke something because when I saw the plunger after I jabbed into his face, I saw it go over this part of his nose. I was like, oh shit, did I just jab that piece into his face like that?
he put it in my face, and I grabbed it, and he was just plunging like that, and it was awesome. It
I
was
wish
funny.
I wish I would have used the new tallow.
I also
Yeah.
did what Scott Diamond said, because before the match, I asked Scott Diamond, I said, is there any pointers you can give? He said, if you're going to do it, if your arm's over that rope, why don't you do this so that the fans cannot see what the rope is doing?
Yeah,
And I used that during the match.
yeah,
Because I told Jane, if I'm over that rope, make sure that you're going to grab me, you're going to grab my head completely onto that rope. 'cause I don't care if it's digging into my
when we had
neck.
that match, we asked everybody we knew about, like, for advice. Everybody we knew, every wrestler we knew, we know all kinds of wrestlers. Everybody was chiming in, saying do this and do that. It was just like we felt like we were the part of the community which we are a big part of the community, but we felt like we were on that other side for at least a day, at least a couple months leading to that match.
And being inside the locker room too.
Say again, like y'all decided to have another match, it'd be a lot better than the first one.
It'd probably be better.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been
It'd probably
a
be
lot
just
better.
as shitty, probably. But
It would have been a lot better, though, if one of our guys had remembered what we trained during our putting everything together.
like Johnny.
Well, here's
No.
the thing about that. Not everything's going to go to plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
If you want to be a wrestler, you got to work on the fly. That's part of the training and stuff. But in conclusion to the social media, my statement is, just because you have a negative feeling about something or somebody doesn't mean you have to share it. Okay?
Exactly.
Instead, Go outside, touch some grass, hug the people you love, and get the fuck over it.
It's them
That's what I
trying
tell
to.
kids on Fortnite.
It's them.
Touch some grass.
It's them trying. It more or less is them
They want to wake up and be Steve
trying
Austin
to say
for a day.
they don't really have a problem with you. They have a problem with themselves. It's them trying to get themselves to feel better about the shitty life that they have.
It's not high
usually.
school. It's not high school.
Yeah,
They're
Okay.
mad that they can't live your life.
If you have a problem with me, okay, I refuse to do Facebook beef.
Yep.
Message me. Come up to me in a show, and we will have a civil conversation. I am not an asshole. You can talk to me.
Yeah.
You know, we might not see eye to eye. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or or
you-
we can step
are you
outside.
gonna be
And
back-
if y'all
are you gonna
have
be
to
back
step
at E-
outside, that's last
Are you gonna be back at EWA more?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm booked for the show coming up.
I can't
don't
wait.
I don't know who my opponent is.
Yeah.
But I'm looking to steal the show.
Man, the show when y'all were in Frankfurt,
Yeah.
when you and was it Daryl Davis?
Dwayne Davis.
Dwayne Davis. That match, man, stands out in my head.
The
Like it
greatest.
lives in my head. Like when you guys were going at it with y'all both matched each other's intensity, and then when I don't know who got suplexed on the floor. Did you get suplexed? You suplexed him on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That was just incredible. Like it was just one of the greatest matches I've seen, like in person. Like
Thank you. I appreciate
it was
that.
incredible. It was incredible.
I thank you. I appreciate that. I wanted it to be different. I really did.
Oh, here's
Is this
Johnny.
the San Sierra punch?
Yep. This,
Yep.
Let me see this punch here.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. This is the first time.
We got two different angles too from it.
Huh. I'm telling you, don't fuck with Stan Sierra.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was during the time when I was down and on my luck, and it just came out of nowhere.
Is anyone writing in?
We could have made it look better.
Yeah, there has been people.
Let's
Taylor definitely put you over. She said
Did they update
that
that,
you're
Johnny?
still
did they,
her best.
did
her
they
favorite.
update that where you can message back on there?
Yeah, now.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
And
I've
this
been
guy-
gone for a while, ain't
I
I?
couldn't put you over. He said this guy Jacob Ratliff is amazing.
Thanks, man. Let's answer some of these. I don't want to ignore the people that call in or write in.
The Kime said RWA was fucking awesome.
Yes, it was. We had a ball. Man, you want to hear about some wild stories? Fucking my RWA run with fucking Jimmy and Adrian and Nick.
Is RWA around anymore? No.
No, sadly, it's not.
Yeah.
You can find some of it on YouTube.
Where was it? Where was it?
Maysville, Tennessee,
Maysville,
or Maryville. It was Maryville.
Maryville,
I,
Tennessee.
yeah, it. I was voted most hated wrestler of the year.
That's
okay,
good.
one, you spelled my name wrong, brother.
Oh, that was
It's not Ratliff.
Yeah.
It's a common thing.
yeah. It
The way I
changed it to that.
think like Ratliff. Like that's what my friends called me in school.
Yes, Ratliff.
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 Liff.
Yeah. So
I don't spell good, so
our RWA was really. I really learned to work the crowd. I just started going out on my own. I was new to being a heel, and I had so much fun. I was voted most hated wrestler of the year. This is Chris Hensley. He was the promoter.
You definitely have a different style than everybody else. You have more of a aggressive. Where did you learn that style at? Where did you come up with that? Is it just natural for you?
I think it's just natural. I've been that way
Yeah.
since I was.
You're really intense in the ring.
I dig that shirt as well. It really fits you.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I go for believability.
Yeah.
The way I like to describe
Yeah,
myself.
like right there.
I'm-
Those are some badass.
No,
But
it does look.
that
It
is
looks very
intense.
believable. You're very believable in the ring.
Thank
Like,
you.
That last match you had at EWA with that guy. Who was that guy you was wrestling with?
Nathan.
Bates.
Oh man, when you did that Lariat and he did that flip.
What
man,
about that
he
release
was-
snap suplex?
He was selling it good.
Yeah, man, he was really good. He's really talented.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
cannot put him over enough. It takes two
Yeah.
to tango.
Had you wrestled Adrian?
Oh yeah, I've wrestled him here.
Oh man, Adrian is around here. I think Adrian's the best sell as far as taking a sale.
He can sell his ass off, man. He's super talented.
So good at that. He's so good. You when somebody lays something in on you, you think that it seems like that he got killed. Like he just knows how to do it. He's just natural with
there's
that.
There he is
Adrian
right there.
right there.
We were in
Yeah.
a faction in RWA called the Shot Callers. And me and Adrian had a blast, man. We caused a riot one night. Okay, so
I can't tell you how much I
love to hear that
appreciate
riot
Adrian.
story.
Adrian is so good for Kentucky wrestling. Like he took AWA hasn't been around. I mean EWA hasn't been around very long at all. But it's a program. It's a promotion that you think, oh,
Yep.
this has been around for a while. But
yeah.
they haven't been around. But what, a year now?
Yep, for a year.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing about Tennessee, right? You can brawl in the crowd. I used to love to do this. I did this every show, would brawl into the crowd. It's like the Wild West in
So
Tennessee.
they don't have a
Commission.
commission down there.
No.
We had to go and wrestle. Me and Johnny wrestled in Tennessee together.
They
Oh
let me tell you about RWA. You said you wanted to hear the riot story.
yeah.
Okay, so right, I'm newer in the business. I'm kind of just learning who I am. And Adrian's coming. We're all getting in the car. It's Peyton Bowman, Ref Peyton,
Great referee.
Jimmy, Juicy Jimmy, me, and Adrian. All right, we were the shot callers.
Nice.
You know, Peyton was the unofficial shot caller, but he rode with us. You know, he's one of our boys. I love Peyton to death. Shout out
Peyton's
to Peyton.
awesome.
Same here.
Peyton's so smart with this business.
He would call in every week last year to be our call-in rep, and he tells us what all was going on with EWA and what he was doing
Ooh.
every wrestling. That was awesome.
Thank you.
We need to come down to Paradigm.
Yes,
Dude,
we do.
You really should. There is no shows like Paradigm in the area.
Yeah.
Okay, they are so different from Tennessee and Kentucky. They are just different. I love them.
Yeah.
Okay, at the next show they're gonna have Tom Lawler. You know who that is?
Yes.
UFC Tom Lawler versus
Yep.
Madman Pondo. Backyard rules.
Oh, hell
I'm gonna be in a 4-way ladder match.
When is this?
September 13th, Friday 13th.
Okay. Yeah.
N-
That's
no-
the same day that. That's next Friday, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's the same day that Generation Next is having theirs.
they're running in my high school, Bourbon County. Yeah, where I wrestled
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
In my hometown. But so RWA, I keep getting sidetracked.
Hey, it's all right.
All right.
I'm sorry.
No, good.
Oh wait, we're here another hour, so we're good.
Yeah. We God, we used to piss these fucking people off so bad. So we had this big feud with Larry Cooter and then RWA. We were taking over, right? We were like this super evil faction. And we'd get these people so angry. So I win a big fatal 4-way match. You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's with Damian Chambers, John Strange. Y'all ever seen
John
Yep.
Strange
Oh,
is
we
amazing.
have.
I like it.
Love John Strait.
Yeah.
But see if you can pull that one up, brother.
He's,
it's on John. Put in John.
He wrestles in Florida now, right?
Yes, he does. Man, he's.
We've seen him at
character.
UCW Caverna, not last year, but the year before.
Put in John Strange RWA Fatal 4-Way, and I think it should come up. So this was almost for like a Money in a Bank. You could get a championship contract anytime, anywhere. Right? So I win the contract. But at the end of the show, Larry Cooter gives me a pile driver.
Cooter.
I sell the pile driver like death. I go on social media and I tell everybody that I'm in constant pain. I'm going to need to have surgery and I'll probably never wrestle again. All right. Everyone from my grandparents to Brutal Bob Evans to about every wrestler I knew messaged me. I had ex-girlfriends from high school message me. You know, and I'm like, man, this is cool. And, you know, I did the whole, like, edge thing. I come out and I had the neck brace on and I made these people cry. I was just like, all I ever wanted to do was make my pops proud. And people are crying, you know, and, like, I turned babyface. They loved me. There it is, right there. I'm the judge of the Halloween costume contest that we're doing. It's like Halloween time. And at the show, Larry Cooter's wrestling Juicy Jimmy. Larry Cooter beats Juicy Jimmy. He's champion. I come in from the crowd and bust a fucking picture frame over his head in my contract. Boom! Take the neck brace off, crack my neck. Ha, 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 ha. These people went fucking crazy.
Oh, God.
I bet.
Who's the tiger guy from Winnie the Pooh? Tigger. Some kid in a Tigger costume, because I'm leaving the ring, I'm arguing with people. I loved you! Like, what the fuck? Me and Jimmy are over here. I'm arguing with this woman, right? She gets up in my face and she's like, fuck you, saying a bunch of slurs I'm not going to repeat on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll fucking kill you, bitch. I'm fucking arguing with the husband. Like, you want something too, motherfucker? I see her get something out of her purse. I'm like, oh shit, what's she getting out of her purse? A fucking wooden spoon. She come at me like she was going to stab me with a wooden spoon. A big Jack security guy. I don't know why this guy didn't get in wrestling. Yeah. This motherfucker's huge. Grabbed me. He was like, we gotta go. Man, we couldn't even stop to get food in that town.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They fucking believed, man.
Yeah,
they fucking believed.
Barry and them would have loved that story because they were talking about the riots. And Scott Dine would definitely love that too because he was privy to a lot of riots.
Next month, right, it's a Christmas show. I'm against Uncle Biff. He's a Tennessee wrestler. He's been around everywhere. He's Larry Cooter's tag team partner. Yeah. We're having a Secret Santa street fight match where there's like a present under each corner with weapons in it. And like some are joke weapons and some are like Legos and stuff. Yeah. And we have this crazy match that the people are into. I open a box and it's just candy and the kids are like, candy? I start beaming at kids. You want some fucking candy? Throwing it at their faces and stuff. It gets intense. There's a Christmas tree. I'm getting ready to do something.
There's no barricades, right?
There's no barricade, man. So they jumped in the ring. You were on your own.
Wow.
So fair game.
That's crazy.
I'm beating the hell out of Uncle Biff, right? I'm on top. I turn around. Larry Cooter has a picture frame. Gets his revenge. Busts me over the head with it. It cuts my hand. I have a little cut here, small as fuck. You wouldn't think it. But where my adrenaline in the ring was going so hard, I'm start spewing blood all over the mat.
Wow.
The fans go crazy. Uncle Biff gets me on the top rope, power bombs me through a Christmas tree. I'm dead, Cell. I'm done. Everyone thinks I'm hurt. I'm bleeding crazy in the ring. They carry me out of there. I get a standing ovation.
Wow.
As a heel.
Yeah.
I get a standing fucking ovation.
Yeah.
So
up in Paradigm, you heel or...
Paradigm, we don't believe in baby faces and heels. You go with the crowd.
Really?
I don't... Yeah. I don't know how to describe it, man. People like me, people hate me.
We definitely have to come and see. Who do we contact to come up there and see you guys? Y'all in Jeffersonville at the arena?
No, we're in New Albany now.
Albany. That's the same distance, right?
Yeah. I can get you some more information. I can link you up with the right people.
Yeah.
The promoters are Gary Wilson,
yeah,
Cam Adams, and Cam is one of my absolute favorite people in the business.
Yeah.
There's no one that fights harder for Jacob Ratliff than Cam. No one believes harder than Cam Adams. So, I just want to shout out Cam. Man, I couldn't have done a lot without you.
You think they would let us come up and do clips and stuff?
I think they would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let Johnny know who he needs to contact with, and we'll try to come up there.
That's one of the first promotions that we took notice of in 2022. Everyone kept bringing up Paradigm. We're like,
they're so different.
Yeah,
they're so different. Okay, it's a completely different style. You all will love Paradigm Pro Wrestling. It is one of my absolute favorite places to work.
How would you describe the style that's going on up there?
So you have everybody from Tom Lawler, but then you have all these super great.
Is it a lot of high flying?
There's high flying, man. We got good brawling. We got hardcore.
You kind of got a mix of everything.
It's a mix of everything.
See, that's what I like.
It's a buffet.
I think I like that kind of style because Jeffersonville is definitely all that wrestling up there. When we go up there and check those guys out, Grindhouse and all XCW, all that stuff. When we go up there, and we haven't been to Paradigm yet, but when we go up there, it's just a different style than Kentucky wrestling is.
It truly is, and Paradigm is the perfect example of that. Man, it's such a different place to wrestle.
Yeah,
and I think that's why I fit in there because I'm such a different kind of weird kind of cat too.
Yeah,
it's not your average pro wrestling.
Would you call yourself a Kentucky wrestler, or would you where would you say you're actually?
I feel like Paradigm Pro Wrestling is my home.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, for a long time I considered myself a Tennessee wrestler. I wrestled a lot in RWA. That's where I did the most. I've always kind of felt like an outsider in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You definitely, when you're wrestling in Kentucky, when I see you wrestling in Kentucky, you're definitely different than everybody else. Yeah, so you have that different style. But I think that's good to bring Kentucky style, but then bring somebody else into that and show us something different.
Yeah. So I don't really know how to answer that question. I don't know. I kind of feel like an outsider in a lot of circles.
Are you from Kentucky? Or
yep, Paris, Kentucky. Bourbon County. Okay. Bourbon County Fight Club legend.
Heck yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And he really was whipping ass before he was arrested.
Neighbors, because we're we're in Lexington, so
yeah. Same neck of the woods.
My mom and dad live in Carlisle, so I go through Paris a lot. So.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Noah Bell earlier.
Yeah.
We actually saw him at Paulcade wrestling.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
If you like Paul Cade, you're gonna love Paradigm.
Yeah.
Okay, Omega, he wrestles for Paradigm a lot, man, and he's over like blockbusters.
Man, I can't tell you enough. I'm so impressed with Omega when he comes up here, and he works with kids and stuff, and
he's a hero to the kids.
He's
man.
just an awesome person, man. He's just really an awesome guy.
When he comes out, man, sometimes I'll be in a locker room. I just see how the people react to him. There's something special about Omega.
Yeah.
And he's one of my favorite people in the business.
He's one of my favorite guys to have in the studio. He's been here.
Great talker, too.
3 times? He's been here 3 times? He's been in the studio 3 times. He's just, when he comes in here, he's just so friendly and just such a good guy. And you're like, how's this big teddy bear just beating up on people?
And he's fucking hilarious,
He's a fucking great guy,
he's
man.
He's fucking hilarious. He cracks me up.
He's so nice to me.
He told us some story like a Mark Clay story. It was like about Mark Clay hitting puberty in the middle of something.
That's another motherfucker who's my favorite. Marty
awesome.
Clay is one of my favorite people. In the
guy
world,
that makes you believe.
He's just a fucking sweetheart of a guy.
Also, he catches turtles, snapping
with his own
turtles
hands. Yeah,
all that with his bare hands.
Have you wrestled Marty?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
And me and him have had some good matches.
We was watching one of the matches earlier. Was that like a fatal 4-way?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like me and Marty have another good match coming up. I don't know when, I don't know where, but somewhere down the line.
Have you wrestled down at Appalachian Mountain Wrestling yet?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I've met Kyle Maggart. He's a really nice guy, cool guy.
He wouldn't want you to say that, but
he's a cool guy.
No, he's a cool guy. He wouldn't want you to say he's nice though.
Yeah, I can tell he don't take any shit from anybody. Though.
Yeah,
the way that I got him on the podcast was, nice guy. He thought we were nice, And I was like, no, here, take my belt and just cut a promo, just shit all over the belt. He's like, you want me to shit on your belt? And I was like, yeah, just say whatever you want. You're the bad guy. Just say whatever you want.
Yeah, lemon juice with him too.
And him and lemon juice McGee. They took the belt into the bathroom and they did a promo for us. It was so good. That's why we work with the Appalachian Mountain Wrestling a lot. We go down there, guys, and we try to promote their stuff.
They got some good
great
good
guy.
Old school
He is a great
guy.
He is a great guy. Those guys are good guys.
They also got the old school style to them too.
Oh yeah, they definitely have the old school style down there.
There's nothing wrong with old school style. I know we talk about my style. There's nothing wrong with old school style.
No, there's nothing wrong with any style of wrestling.
Yeah,
I'm a
flavors.
fan of every wrestling. I'm a fan of even the shitty wrestlers.
Yeah,
even the shitty wrestling. I think that it's there's a spot for everybody. I think
that's true, because even if it is shitty wrestling, there's always a chance that the person that you're watching is going to go on and be improved. Yeah. And he's going to be even better than what he was when you first saw him.
Or they haven't hit their full potential yet.
And plus, if you are having shit wrestling, you're at least doing what you love. And you have the chance to go find the actual trainer that's going to help you improve on what you know.
And you got the balls to at least get in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's I've been in the ring once with Johnny and Johnny, and it's so different.
It is.
You're up there on a stage, it's if people think that they sit there and think that they could do that, they got another thing coming. You can't do it. I mean, just as a regular person, you can't do what you do. I can't do anything that you do. I can't make it look real like that. When I got in the ring and me and Johnny got in the ring, we just looked like,
Sorry that I hit you with the double knees, though.
Johnny was making up stuff on the fly.
I mean, sometimes you have to.
I was trying not to get hurt.
What are the people saying, Johnny?
the people.
And what were they saying?
We know that Teddy Bashong loves you. We got Tanner Hall. He said they really don't understand about
That thing doesn't
professional
update
wrestling.
that verb. That doesn't update very
Tanner Hall,
Did
that's
I-
my boy.
Did I not bring my phone in?
Usually you do.
I didn't bring it in, I don't guess.
But everybody that's tuned in, they know now who Jacob Ratliff is.
That's
Your
my.
style and your believability.
I want them to know me. You know.
Yeah.
I try to let them in a little bit. Try to know what I'm about.
Yeah.
Know what I represent. Why I do the things I do.
Uh-huh.
That was my big goal of today's podcast.
Because you're an ass kicker. Whenever you see someone in front of you, your goal is not.
So what is
not
the belt? What is the belt you have? Super
I'm the Paradigm Super Middleweight Champion.
middleweight champion. Okay.
September 13th, Friday 13th, I'm going to be in a Fatal 4-Way ladder match. It's my first ladder match. All right.
Alright.
Against Noah Vale,
Okay.
Shaw Mason, and A-Game. You know, Noah Vale's a great pro wrestler. Great fucking wrestler.
He is.
But A-Game, one of the best wrestlers in Paradigm. Shaw Mason, we're 1-1. Right? He's who I beat for this belt. And he's beat me for the belt before, too. All right. Me and him have history. So we really need to settle that up. And so I'm going to go down in this ladder match. Now, listen, I'm not really a flippy guy. I'm probably not going to be flipping off ladders. But I'm going to be the guy throwing people off ladders. I'm going to come in, do what I do best. You know, my submission game's not going to really work in a ladder match, so I feel like I'm at a disadvantage. So I'm just going to start swinging for the fences and doing what I can best. I'm going to make it a fight. You know, it's 3 of those guys versus me because they're trying to take my belt.
You think
Okay.
you think they put you in this match to be at a disadvantage?
Probably the overlords, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the wrestling overlords, they don't want me champion.
Yeah.
You know, the Super Indie Cucks don't want me champion. You know, so, yeah, it's probably that way on purpose. You know, stack the competition against me. You know, put me in a ladder match where I can't choke a dude out or I can't arm bar a guy. You know, I can't use any of my
So
submission grappling.
you might have to break some arms and snap some necks. That way, you know, they
If I
can't-
snap
they-
their leg, they can't climb up a
Yeah.
fucking ladder.
Exactly.
Boom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If I choke a dude out, you're unconscious.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm looking forward to it. It's my first ladder match. It's going to be exciting stuff.
They can't climb a ladder with a ladder shoved up their ass.
That is true.
That's another good
Ladder
point.
sodomy.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, Noah Bill, he's a pretty damn good wrestler.
A very good
himself.
wrestler.
Was that?
But
Is that
Yeah,
Larry D
that's
there?
Larry.
Yes, it is.
Was he in TNA at this point, or?
I think he might have been or just off at TNA.
Gotcha.
But also, Noah Bill may be a good wrestler, but at the same time,
Can he outstrike me?
I went up
Exactly.
there. I went up there in Louisville and watched that TNA stuff. That in person.
Was that a pretty good show?
Oh yeah, it was a great show. Yeah, I seen all like Miss Larkin up there and
Ali Albright.
Allie Albright and what's the other girl's name? Big
Which one? Vanessa Holiday.
Vanessa Holiday was up
She
there.
saw herself, actually. She commented, she says, I see a familiar redhead.
Yeah.
When you had the bill, seeing Josh Alexander getting his ass beat and brought to the ring.
It
by
was
Kushida.
it was amazing, man. It was great. I got to see the Hardy Boys wrestle. I've seen them wrestle a few times before, but not that close up.
Mhm.
And they still have it. They don't look like they've slowed down any. Like
I also love that they're back to being total nonstop action.
Yeah.
Because they
They fit in. They fit in TNA.
and they have some great wrestlers in their company too.
They do have some great wrestlers. I love that they're working with NXT now.
I do too. Especially Jordan Grace, because you can already tell. She's already going to be a part of WWE.
She is incredible.
I seen something earlier. I don't know.
Who's your favorite pro wrestler?
Okay, this is such a hard question for me because I watch so much different,
Do you watch a
Wrestlers.
lot of wrestling?
lot of wrestling.
Yeah, like TNA, AEW.
I watch a lot of old school wrestling,
Yeah.
and I've watched a lot of Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
My favorite wrestlers are almost like broken up into decades. That's
Yeah.
how much wrestling like I watch.
Yep.
Like 70s, probably Harley Race.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
80s,
bad motherfucker.
probably Randy Savage.
Bad motherfucker.
Fuck.
90s, probably Kenta Kobashi.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, like 2000s if I had to pick one. Probably Chris Jericho. I guess he was one of my favorites growing up.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I have so many.
Man, when he was in WCW and he was doing those lion tamer, like the lion salt is what they called it. They called it lion
Yep,
salt.
the lion salt.
Man, when I used to love to watch WCW because I knew that they were going to have. That's when Jericho was there, Eddie was there,
Mysterio.
Disco Inferno was, and I knew they were always going to have those guys wrestle.
Yeah.
Like Jericho was always going to wrestle, Eddie was always going to wrestle, Disco was always going to wrestle.
I love Chris Jericho's
Disco's not a good
submission.
wrestler. Disco Inferno is a fucking
They could entertain.
great
Yeah,
Yeah,
wrestler.
he was a great wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah, like they always used him.
Watch this
he
right
was
here.
He was a workhorse
Yep,
for
I'm watching.
WCW.
That's the only time I've ever done that. I try to be Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
Yep, a thrust kick.
That's going to be the only time I attempt it
So
either.
right now, who like WWE? Who you like over there?
I don't watch much WWE, but when I do, man, Gunther.
Yes.
He's my style of wrestler.
Yeah, he's a badass.
He got the
The believability. That's word of the day.
But also,
Believability.
AEW.
Lot
Do
like
you watch
you.
AEW?
Some, I guess my favorite would have to be
Ronnie Osprey. They got Osprey. They got
Roderick Strong.
Roger Strong.
I
Yes.
loved him ever since I was a kid, man.
Yeah.
I used to
The
watch
one
Ring
bar.
of Honor on local TV.
New Japan. Like
I don't watch much New Japan.
You don't
The
watch New
Japanese
Japan?
wrestling I do watch. I watch 90s All Japan, and I watch 2000s Pro Wrestling Noah. So, like, I watch, like, Mizawa,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like, I watch Stan Hansen, Steve Williams, Kent Kobashi,
What do you-
Kawada,
what do you think about
Great
Alex
choices.
Zane?
Alex Zane.
We was talking about him
Yeah, we
earlier.
talked about him
listen,
earlier.
Listen to this. I'll tell you the same thing that I told them earlier. So the last show my dad did was like a benefit show for the Scott County wrestling team because he started talking about Matt Huff, which was a guy we knew, and my dad was on that show, and it was probably like 2018, 2019,
Yeah.
and I see this guy with purple hair doing flips and shit. I'm like, that dude's cool as shit. Went and looked him up on Instagram, followed him. Alex Zane.
Alex Zane is incredible. He's from Lexington, right?
Yeah.
Yep. You're able to do this too.
Oh, cool. You better.
You message and it messages to YouTube and
Is that
Facebook.
what you were
cool.
typing over there?
Yep.
What are the people saying, John? You're on.
The people love Jacob Ratliff. That's what they're saying.
Good, they should.
Because they should. Because really, you are what you're.
A lot of people, if they don't know who you are, will know who you are after this.
Especially September 13th at Paradigm.
A lot of our fans will know
Because
who
you
you
got
are.
that right there, and you're going to defend it in a liar match. No, Bill. I hope he knows how to strike because Jack Ratliff always proved.
He's a better athlete than me. You know, he might be a better pro wrestler than me, but he's not a better fighter than me. Okay.
Exactly.
Noah Vale is a super athletic, great guy, great pro wrestler. But can he hang? If we're throwing hands, can he hang? That's my X factor, man. I feel like I have the power to drop anybody at any time.
Exactly.
Okay.
And their goal is to get the titles.
You
But
can't
what
do
they
that when you're on
don't
the
realize-
ground when I'm grapple fucking you, putting elbows in
Yeah.
your head.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You knock them all out, and then you can just walk right up
And also,
the ladder. You can walk
They-
right up the ladder.
their goal is to get the titles. They're not even thinking that they have to go through him to try and get those titles.
Yeah.
This man could stop all three of them if he wanted to, because he's got power behind his grapples. He got the power of the strike, the snap release suplex, the lariats. This man.
You still in Paris?
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Means you can come up here a lot more.
I probably can, yeah. We can probably work some stuff out.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
cool.
also, we'd like to get you in here with Stan the man.
Stan Sierra, I'd love to do a
Oh
podcast
man, I
with
love when
Sierra.
Stan comes.
And if we can,
We need to get me, Stud, and Juicy Jimmy up in here.
Yes.
Because you need to
I don't
ask
think
him-
the stud likes us very much, though.
No, that's what I hear, and that's what I want to get to the bottom of. I will come up on this podcast, and I will find... What's the beef? Just go ahead.
We
Smart.
brought,
we
we
don't
brought
know
him
what
on
the
and
big
everything.
What's the heat?
Either
it's mostly on his
either we're
side.
misunderstanding and he's talking about somebody else, or he's talking about us. I don't know. I think
What's up,
Is he
Donnie
watching?
Green?
Is he watching right now?
I don't know if he's
No.
watching or not. I don't
Donnie Green
know.
Is.
Man, Donnie Green is so good. He was an awesome guy when I met him at PTW, and he was one of those guys that would help the younger guys anytime he
Donnie
could.
Green's an incredible friend of this podcast. He's part of
Yep.
this. He's really just part of. He's part of the podcast. You know,
I mean, we'd like
Donnie-
to get Stud back in here.
I'd love to bring
like
Stud
that-
back
the
in.
heat- the
I
heat
want to
is mostly
squash the
from his
beef. If
side.
there's a beef between us, I'd love to squash it.
Let's squash
we
the
don't
heat.
do. We act goofy. We do a lot of comedy, but
You're here to entertain.
we're here to entertain, and we're not wrestlers. We're different
try
than
to-
wrestlers.
We try to show respect to professional wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to put over everybody, and we do have, like, we brung on some TSW guys at one point. We bring on everybody. You know what I'm saying? We try to put over everybody.
Dream podcast right here. Okay,
Yeah.
if y'all could somehow get these three dudes to come up here on the podcast,
We might need you.
I will come. I will be a part of the podcast. Jimmy, Stud, Bobby Blade, and I'll come too.
I'd
Hell
love to
yeah.
get Juicy Jimmy in here.
You need
I've
to
had
ask
Stud
him-
in here. But I'd like to have Juicy in here, and I'd like to have you in here because then Stud would probably feel comfortable around you guys.
Oh man, things gonna get wild if the three of us get together.
Oh,
on
I'd
this
love to
podcast.
have you. I love Wild. I'm not.
Don-
That's what's all
Donnie says Stud versus Johnny in a blindfold match. What do you think about that,
I'd
Johnny?
pay to see it.
blindfold man.
I'd pay to see it.
Yeah,
I
Stud.
definitely would.
Stud blindfold now. Like he's got an advantage over Johnny because he's bigger and he's an actual wrestler.
Does Johnny get to wear
But
his
it's a
glasses
blindfold
under
match.
the blindfold?
They're
under the
both
blindfold?
blindfolded.
No, he's got to be blindfold. You need your eyes, Johnny.
No, I'm already blind.
No,
so
you
just
need
blind.
you need two sets of glasses.
Do you get to wear the glasses under the blindfold though?
No, I'll
He's
wear
gotta
over
wear his
the
glasses.
blindfold. I mean, you
Hey,
can't
see what you can
already,
do.
so the
We
glasses
don't-
can do it.
We don't
I
have
can't promise anything.
we don't have a problem with stuff. He said some things. I've probably said some things back to him, but I only say things back to people when they attack us. And I felt like he attacked us, so I'll say something to him, and I don't have a problem with him. I actually brought him on the show.
Yeah,
you
we've
know?
had
That
him
was
on. We had him on.
He's
in
been on the show.
2022.
That was a great sale of the Lariat.
I'd love to have
Oh,
Jimmy.
nice
I'd love to have Juicy Jimmy in here. I love his wrestling.
Hey, John Johns knows Juice Jimmy.
Yeah, you
That's
you gotta
definitely one.
ask him.
Bring Nick Depp with you when you bring Juicy.
Oh man, I'd love to have Nick Depp on
Nick
the podcast.
Depp,
We get
we
wild.
love him. We
I
love
love to
Nick
get you
Depp.
both together.
They try to get
'Cause
Nick in
Nick
here.
is
Juicy
wild.
Jimmy, Nick Depp.
When
you
we
guys.
had Nick Depp and John get around here, all they want to say was, "He's hardcore. He's hardcore. He's hardcore." We spent the whole podcast doing that about anything. If a topic came up that it featured it, we'd be screaming, "He's hardcore. He's hardcore." We'd switch it up.
The Juicy's
I'm a big fan of Nick Depp. I just
Yes.
love that guy.
He gets it,
When
and
you-
also believable.
when you
Yeah.
get Juicy on the podcast, you got to ask him. He used to book a Pro Wrestling Freedom,
Yeah.
and he booked Vader versus Madman Pondo, and that is one of the craziest fucking stories. Ask him about Vader. I can't do it justice. When you get Juicy Jimmy on the podcast, ask him two things.
He's open homosexual, right?
yeah,
Juicy? Okay. I mean, I would love to hear that side because I'm sure he's got people hating on him because of that.
yeah.
I would love to hear that story
Yeah.
because I'm sure that's just something that a lot of there's probably wrestlers that are out like that are in the closet that aren't out as like he is.
It's like who was that one wrestler that killed himself because he was
Canyon.
Canyon? Yeah.
Canyon was a good wrestler.
Canyon was a great wrestler. I was a big fan of Canyon's.
I loved his character Mortis.
If this might to change the topic a little bit, you should get on the podcast. You guys should have a Japanese wrestling themed episode.
Uh-huh.
If you can,
Yeah.
it might be hard to do, but get Victor Vargas or Dustin Edwards is a shoot name. Get him in here to talk about some Japanese wrestling. Talk about somebody that knows everything about Japanese wrestling.
Really?
As an encyclopedia. He's an encyclopedia about
he a
I'm
wrestling.
wrestler?
interested in doing
Yeah,
that.
Victor Vargas. He was my
Hey,
first
we
tag
spoke
partner.
to him. I know Victor Vargas.
Get him in here, Johnny.
I
Yeah.
will.
I got a friend that I work with at UPS he's really big into Japanese wrestling too, so I could bring him in too.
Yeah,
And-
that'd be a cool episode if you ever decide to do a Japanese themed up. Man, is this Gaston?
Yep, Gaston Rue.
Yeah, Gaston with no hair when he first started
When
out.
he had shorter hair, still doing the first book of wrestling.
Yeah.
Gaston's pretty good. I've
Yep.
never wrestled Gaston.
Hey, that'd be a hell of a match.
He's got a good suplex.
Hey,
Yeah.
Gaston, you want to test your mental? Challenge him to a Fight Club match. You say there's no one better than Gaston, stronger than Gaston, better technique than Gaston, then why don't you
I
show
love it.
Jacob Ratliff?
I love his suplex. I think he does a great suplex.
He's a great technician. He's great on the mat.
Yeah.
He's
You
he's
could
a true
tell
pro.
he's put time in.
Oh, this is Supreme Pro Wrestling too.
Yeah.
Supreme Wrestling.
You can tell he's put the time in and honed his craft.
Yeah. He's a pro, definitely.
Yep, and this is when he's still very young, cause he's got the short hair. He's not wearing the Gaston look. He's got the book. I wrestled the first one that was tore up and beat up.
This is young Gaston.
Yep.
Yeah, very.
And he's taking on
very-
Juicy Jimmy.
He's where'd he did Larry teach him? Larry and him teach him?
Yeah, Larry has been teaching Gaston.
Yeah.
So, but
You
so
talking
has
about Larry Jones?
Yeah.
yep, but so has many others too.
Yeah.
He's been learning.
I thought he was
Scream
their
and-
school down there.
I don't think he went to Larry's school. I think Larry's helped him out, mentored him a
Yeah.
lot. But
Yeah.
no, I don't think he didn't go to the school,
Yeah.
the Legends Academy.
We've had him in here before. I mean, he wants to come back. I gotta definitely.
Who,
book him
Gaston?
again.
Gaston wants to
Yep.
come back?
Yeah, he
should.
wants to come back.
Should. Very intelligent guy.
Yeah,
Very
I like
intelligent
Gaston. Gaston's cool.
He's one of those guys that when I first saw him, I was like, I want that guy on the podcast, and so I hit him up, and we were able to get him
We
in.
brought him in here when he was Gen Next.
Yep,
He was
Gen
champion.
Next heavyweight champion.
He was a champion.
And then
over
what
there.
happened? Drew Dillinger and him had their falling out during the ball brawls. Those were hell of shows that featured that man right there, showing why Gaston Leroux is one of the best.
What are the people saying, John? You're on the People
The
report.
people-
That thing over there doesn't come through with the.
Yeah.
It's more on the phone, Johnny. If you look at the phone, because that thing doesn't come through most of the. Some of the messages don't come through over there. I don't know why. It looks like that's updated. I haven't checked that out. I haven't been on the
Yeah, it has
podcast much
updated.
lately. But when you came in, Johnny said, I said I got to be in here for Jacob. So,
Alex Ripper definitely thinks that you're amazing.
but I've
Thanks,
been taking
man.
some time off from the podcast. We've been doing it for 4 years, and I'm just.
Chucky Smooth is pissed off that B Money did not invite him to the Nashville birthday trip.
No.
He said thanks for the birthday invite, B Money, to Nashville, you son bitch.
Chucky's,
But
That's
you
fine.
know what?
awesome. Have you ever watched Chucky Smooth wrestle?
Mhm.
Man, back in the day, he was
Yes.
incredible, man. He was
He had the
incredible.
fur coats. He had the. He had
was
the look
so-
for
he-
it.
he's
He
like-
also tried to be babyface.
He's like the John
but
Cena
I
of
mean, he
Kentucky.
was babyface, but he wanted to be a heel. The fans did not like heel. Chucky Smooth. They started loving him. He's like,
He's
come
definitely
on, guys,
a
I'm
baby.
trying to get y'all to hate my guts. What do I have to do? He tried everything to make them hate him, but nobody would hate Chucky Smooth.
Chucky's awesome.
That's why we
man.
call him the John Cena of Kentucky, because he was doing a lot of things for the kids around here.
Yeah,
But we definitely going to be
I was
setting up.
I was such a fan of Chucky's.
Yes.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Been a fan of you too.
Kentucky Championship Wrestling.
Yep, KCW.
KCW was the shit, man.
And NWA.
NWA, but
We definitely
KCW
gotta
was
get you-
KCW was Chucky and
Jimmy.
them's. That was their baby. That was their promotion.
Man,
Yeah.
I remember the KCW. times.
KCW was your dad's and Chucky and all
Yes.
those their promotion. It was theirs.
What advice would you give to him if he was to step into wrestling?
Well, you need to get trained right. You need to go to a good training
Well,
school. I know.
Donnie
That's
Green.
Donnie
My
Green.
dad. My dad's stubborn.
They'll
now.
teach you the right way. That's really step one. Okay, just get your fundamentals ready, and then work from there. You got first things first from square one. I know that's a generic answer to give you, but man, you just need to go in there and you need train. Learn your basics because you're not going to hurt yourself. You're not going to hurt somebody else. You're going to do things the right way and know how to do them, why to do them. Okay, so that's what you need to do.
So if my hypothetical tag team partner, wink wink, Tuffy Jr., wink wink, what's up, buddy? Come on.
How old are you now?
Just turned 21.
21.
You have a license,
No, not yet.
Not
wrestling
yet, no.
license.
Yeah. How old are you now?
23, going to be 24 in October.
Okay. How long you been wrestling?
Hell
I know.
yes.
I'm sure y'all talked about this earlier.
Since 2019.
It's okay. You've been in a while then.
Yeah.
And he don't even look like he's
25, 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Close to 5 years.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. We're definitely going to have you back with Juicy Jimmy, Bobby Blade.
Oh yeah,
It's,
definitely.
The Super Podcast.
Talk to those guys and to have them come in. We want everybody. We want everybody's opinion on this stuff. We want to have everybody in here.
I need to get to the bottom of the stud heat.
Yeah.
Okay. I wish he was watching right now.
Yeah.
I wish we could call
If
him
he
up.
don't like us, then he don't like us. I mean, we don't. It's no big deal. I don't have anything personal against him. If he don't like the podcast, he don't like the way we talk about things. I'd love for him to give us some pointers on what he would think. He thinks that we would we should be doing, and maybe I'm just misunderstanding him. Maybe
we
he
can
wasn't
find
talking
some
about us. Maybe we were
Common ground.
common ground. Find some common ground. Squash the heat.
You know,
Yeah, because we would like to have him back.
as long as he don't
Because we
try to
had him-
squash
he was
me.
one
I mean, I don't want
of-
him to
He
squash
was
me.
one of the first old school guys that we actually on here after Scott Diamond came on here.
Yeah, Scott-
Diamond was the very first one with his son.
Yeah.
That holds a special place in my heart because we were the first podcast to have father and son together on the podcast. And now, Austin Diamond is DPW heavyweight champion.
Doomsday Pro Wrestling.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, and they're upcoming promotion up there in Jeffersonville.
What's up, Amanda Young?
They only wrestle in They only do shows in Jeffersonville, right?
Yep. And at the arena.
At the arena, yeah.
Yep. Just
We
like,
meant to go to that last show, and just something happened, and I just couldn't go. And
can you believe that Dale Bass was there?
I know, I seen it. He
Who doesn't
hit
love Dale Bass?
he hit
and
JR
he's also
Rock
got
with
this
the
right here.
He hit JR Rock with the chair.
Yeah, and
It's
JR
like,
Rock is another
I
guy.
seen that clip. I was like, "What the hell's going on up Doom today?"
J.R. Rock's a good dude too.
Man,
Yeah,
JR
and also
Rock's
believable.
True professional.
So he is so intelligent. Like
Yes,
he's
very.
just very like when you sit down and talk to him, you can tell that
Very articulate.
he's a college educated person.
Yes, super intelligent.
You
guy.
can tell by talking to him. Like even like in the ring when he's wrestling, you can't really tell as much. But when he comes in here to the studio and he talks to us, it's like this motherfucker's been to college. You can tell
That's
he's
right.
a very very educated person. I'd love to have JR Rock in here more.
Oh yeah, we definitely gotta get him in
Yeah.
the documentary in here with him.
Yeah, there's a documentary about him actually.
It's a badass documentary too.
Yeah.
It lets you know who J.R. Rock is. And go ahead.
I was gonna plug something here. Recently got this. I don't know if I texted you this or you this, but and this is a little ways out, but October 17th, I booked Jessica Current, the wife of Donnie Green,
Okay.
for a special Halloween episode
Okay.
of the Nice Guy Andy podcast, which is going to be on the Straight Shoot podcast.
Things will get
October
spooky.
17th.
Getting spooky.
She's talking about bringing a Ouija boards and
Oh,
stuff
fuck.
like that.
Oh, I can't wait.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I know Johnny can't wait.
I can't.
And,
She's
hey, I mean, she's hot.
she's a gorgeous. She's
Sorry,
a
Donnie
gorgeous
Green.
woman. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful lady.
Yes, she is. And
It's
also,
so
she's not
funny,
afraid
like-
to show you.
We actually had her on the podcast before when we was down at what was it?
It was Skullface 4.
Skullface 4.
Skullfest 4, I mean.
Skullfest 4. She was down there. Yeah, she's very funny. She's very comedic, and she was on there with Johnny and Cam, and it was
She was the
hilarious.
lovely Latina.
Hilarious. So
I think that Donnie Green was looking like, damn, man. Now she ain't never going to come on with me.
Donnie's so cool, man.
He is.
We all went to Nashville this past weekend for my 21st.
Chucky actually called you.
Yeah, he
bad
called
name.
you a
Yeah,
son bitch for
well,
not inviting him.
Shit, Chuck. Thought
gotta
you were still in
invite Uncle
Mexico.
Chucky,
my
man.
bad,
Come on.
my bad, Chuck. But here's a
gotta have-
video of me and Jessica going ham, and
I saw that.
So what happened was my dad spilled his beer all over the floor. I had a couple drinks. Jessica, had a couple drinks, and they started playing Metallica, Enter Sandman, and fucking me and Jessica started going.
That's the one of the
haywire.
best right there.
And I knew I was going to fall. I was in, boots, and a couple drinks mixed with the beer spilled. Boom! I was on the ground.
Yeah.
At
Well,
least
you
she
know.
didn't fall because
At least you're not
that
hurt.
that makes me love her even more because she loves Metallica's Enter Sandman.
Johnny's gonna get beat up
But-
at some point over this.
But you know
over
what?
this crush.
Damn, it's already been 2 hours.
Has it
22
been?
hours.
Yeah.
Yep. We've come to a time where we say our goodbyes. I can't believe it's already that time. Who'd like to say goodbyes first?
Me. I'll do it. All right. I hope today that everyone got to know me a little bit better, got to know what makes Jacob Ratliff tick. Come see me sometime. I promise I'll steal the show. I will make violent fucking magic for you in that ring every time. All right. I'm no good. You're no better. I'll see you next time.
Hell yeah.
It was great to have you and finally get to meet you. I mean, we sort of met on not met, but we
used to run across each other in amateur wrestling tournaments.
Amateur wrestling tournaments, and it was great to finally have you in here.
Did y'all wrestle each other?
No. I was 106. What class did you wrestle?
Man, I was like 185.
Yeah, we was very far. We was far apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great to. I mean, we've had a lot of legends lately, especially put you over, and
that means a lot.
Yeah,
it really does. It really does.
We've been dying to get you in here, and man, we finally got you in here, and I hope to have you back sometime. I'm
just happy. I'm just glad that Adrian brung you in at EWA, because then I didn't know you was right down in Paris.
It's good to be back there. It's good to be back there, man. I think I'm gonna turn some heads.
Yeah. I mean, them being in Richmond is just incredible. They went from Frankfurt not having anybody in the stands up there to Richmond to
great crowd, man. It caught me
like
off
packing
guard.
the place. Yeah,
it caught me off guard. Their action they gave me at the last show.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
it was wonderful. It was one of my favorite reactions.
They
I've
definitely
ever
have a wrestling fan base in Richmond.
They love some wrestling
awesome.
in Richmond.
Yeah. That's right.
I really love. I think that Lexington would have incredible. And do have an incredible wrestling base here.
It's so expensive.
If we can find a place to put a match on here in Kentucky, I mean, in Lexington, I mean, I just would love that. You want to go next, or you want me to go?
You go.
Okay.
I already went.
Guys, really would like thank you guys for tuning in. Jacob, thank you for coming in.
No problem. Thank you.
Guys, if you go over to the Nice Guy Andy Podcast Facebook page, like, share, comment on everything over there. Go to the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube. We got close to 2,000 followers over on YouTube. We got 20,000 followers on Facebook. If you could go and subscribe to our subscriptions on YouTube, on Facebook, it's $1 a month, and that would help us out tremendous if we could get a couple thousand people following us or paying the subscription. The podcast is we're monetized. We do make a little bit of money, but we do appreciate anybody contributing to the Nice Guy Andy Podcast Fund. I just want to thank everybody for helping out with the podcast. Bear, Donnie Green. John Flannery, thank you very much, John Flannery.
John Flannery,
Jade, Jane.
Calamity Jane.
I can't talk right now. Calamity Jane. She does her show on Tuesday. She did take off this Tuesday because it was her daughter's birthday, but she'll be back next Tuesday.
Sign right where
you want me to sign?
Can I say one last thing?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Death to the overlords and death to the super indie cucks. Fuck you. I always hate you. The war isn't over. Get in the ring with me.
That's right.
In the ring!
Super middleweight champion, September 13th. Ladder War. Let's go. Paradigm Pro Wrestling. I'm no good. You're no better.
And guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Because without y'all, we couldn't do what we do. I want to thank you, Jacob Ratliff, for giving us a moment of your time. Because you're always busy and
thank you.
You're a badass.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, B Money, for filling as my
co-host, you want to
as always.
Just drop in anytime. Just drop in.
That's right.
We do this show Wednesdays and Thursdays nights. Hey, if you ain't got nothing to do, be like, I'm going to come up there and help us out, man. Come up.
Nice Guy Andy, thank you for finally coming. I'm sorry that I hit you with those double knees.
Dude,
I've had some time. I've had to have some time off because I've been taking some more work to help pay for the podcast, guys. If people would subscribe and help donate money to the podcast, we don't really need a lot of money to run this, but it does cost, and the studio does cost us money.
Every little bit helps. Every little bit. If you love listening to it, just give a little bit, man. If it's 50 cents, $1, any little bit fucking helps.
I've had to take a little bit, because it does cost, and it usually costs me. I'm the biggest sponsor of this podcast. I love it, though, and Johnny puts a lot of time in, and B Money comes in, Donnie Green comes in, Bear. We've got a pretty big crew now, and they've been taking up my slack where I haven't been able to be here, and I appreciate everybody, and then we have other people on the outside, John Flannery, other people that help out with the stuff behind the scenes that don't even ask us for anything.
Good people.
Really good people support us. Got everybody over at the Union Hall, 651 Teamsters Union. They watch us a lot over there. They came through my work today and was like telling me how cool they think that my show is. And I'm always surprised when people come up to me and be like, "Hey, I watch your show," and I'm like, I don't realize how big the show actually is, and I mean it's pretty big. I mean, and when we go in Lexington, we don't really see a lot of the fans, but when we go out of town, me and Johnny are swamped by people, and they want autographs and stuff, and we thank you guys for supporting the podcast. And I really do appreciate everybody, and we're going to keep going as long as we can, and and we're going to keep the studio as long as we can. But it does cost us money, and if everybody could help out, the subscription over there is $1 at Facebook.
At Big Counts, you spend that on coffee and other things for $1. Why not send a little bit away our way?
So, if you're not having fun,
you ain't getting none. Also, next week. Look forward to a show because right now I'm putting it together. Dale Bass, a Bobby Blade,
Bobby
Ready X, all together under one roof, right here in the Nice Game Podcast.
Hell yeah, damn good show, Johnny.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice.